The Lord is not to be underestimated. Hearing the words of Xianyuan Tian without mercy and indifference, Mu Ruyun feels she's about to faint. She sobs with her head down on one side. Woo-woo. Eyes filled with tears, her heart broken. Brotherly Tian, I. No matter what you do, Yuner supports you. Even if her heart aches, she continued to be sympathetic. Jiu Ye's mood is getting worse in each pause, sing second. Unable to contain his anger any longer, he was about to put Xianyuan Tian to H.E.L.L. where he belonged but was cut off first by Mu Qian's cold voice. I refuse. A man slag like Xianyuan Tian is beyond doubt disgusting. She felt sick thinking living a life with him that goose MPS filled her body. She wanted to poison him immediately upon hearing what he had said. The emperor was confused, he asked. Why? Tianer is talented and his looks are also extraordinary. Xianyuan Li Ji said some good words for his son. He wants to sell his son so he doesn't have to pay back the dowry. An emperor selling his son enthusiastically like this, even Mu Qian was a little helpless. Mu Qian said. Your Majesty, don't speak any longer. Can't you see that His Highness, Xianyuan Tian, is not genuine with his feelings? But why? What's wrong with him? I can make him change for you. The emperor's tone is very sincere. Mu Qian turned to look at Xianyuan Tian. I'm afraid he won't change till his next life. Xianyuan Ji frowned. Shir, what do you mean? Mu Qian slowly said. I'm saying that if someone wanted to marry me, he must meet my two requirements first. I won't accept if he is a stallion. Before and after our marriage, he must never touch another woman aside from me. The faces of the men inside the hall are turning into different colors, even the emperor is the same. Mu Qian saying all of it, is it just to scold them all? This is a world where the weak are prey to the strong. Among the hierarchy, being a woman is considered as the lowest. An average man having 3 wives and 4 concubines are deemed as normal. Unless the woman's strength is tough to no edge, and is a tigress, having another woman is not possible. Xianyuan Tian's face is the most outrageous. D-A-M-N. In front of so many people, Mu Qian she dared to reproach him. Second, he must be stronger than me. Xianyuan Tian's strength is so weak, such a man. Mu Qian she will never marry. In the last sentence, Mu Qian she'd slowly spit out the 3 words, will never marry. Her deep and dark eyes are looking straight with Xianyuan Ji's eyes. No one can make her change or lower these 2 conditions. The strength of Mu Qian she has exceeded Ouyang Wei, who ranked 4th in the Purple Moon Kingdom's genius list. The only 2 youths who is higher than her would be Jiu Yi and the Crown Prince. They were both peerless son of the heaven, having no other women from birth. Mu Qian's condition is too harsh. Everyone summed that the Mu Jia's lord will never marry in this life. Only the Ashura sitting at the top has slightly evoked a smile, too little to be seen. Xianyuan Ji can't express what he is feeling exactly, so he eventually changed the topic. Shir, you really are Fingyun's daughter, even your peculiarities are the same. In the eyes of Mu Fengyun there's only his wife. No matter how many beautiful women he sent to please him in the past, all have been returned to him immediately one by one. He used all sorts of means to send a beautiful woman to him, but except his wife, he completely ignored all the other women. Mu Qian she smiled and said, I will never choose among the princes, may His Majesty please bring out all of my dowry. After this feast, I will take everything home with me. The emperor's face is getting stiff at each pause, sing second. In his heart, he's cursing Xianyuan Tian. Such a fortune, he can't just hand it over. It has been a year and a half, Your Majesty must have forgotten all about it. Here. I will help you remember. Mu Qian took out a roll of long paper. 999,000 gold tails, 999,000 black jades, 999 immortality elixirs, 999. This is not some ordinary worldly treasures. The people who heard it cannot help but curse inside. Mu Jia is too rich. Too extravagant. After finishing reading the long list, once again Mu Qian took out another scroll. Thunder Soul Orchid, Heavenly Lotus, Phoenix Silk. These treasures are as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. The remaining items she had not read must be more precious than the other. The crowd's eyes are glistening, but when they remembered that these babies are in the emperor's hands, their thoughts instantly vanished. This fortune, it's amazing. Xianyuanli Tian has finally learned why, despite his strong refusal before, his father emperor insisted to continue this marriage, leaving him no choice but to agree. For this kind of fortune, it doesn't matter whether a prince like him is happy or not. Mu Qian's face has turned slightly red after reading a series of her dowries lists. The air inside the hall became silent and dreadful. All the people on the scene did not dare to utter a sound, carefully sitting on the side. Such great fortune, no matter whose mouth, no one is willing to spit it all out. Even if the man himself is the Purple Moon Kingdom's emperor, he may not be so generous. They quietly watched from the sides. In case a big fight starts, they won't suffer from it. Now, they're racking their brains to come up with an excuse to get out of here immediately. Maybe, the real reason why Mu Qian is here is to collect debts from His Majesty which may incur the heavens' wrath. Xianyuanli Ji clenched his fist, his eyes on the purple figure in front. If he could, he wanted to kill her on the spot. He slowly said. Sheer, do you really have to take all of your dowry back today? Mu Qian's sonorous voice echoed. Yes. I must have it all back today. My clan is in a financial crisis. Please grant this wish of mine, Your Majesty. If you think that one request isn't enough, how about I use both requests for today? Mu Qian is so aggressive that it almost made the emperor suffer an internal injury. But he isn't willing to do it. No matter what happened, he can't just let it go easily like this. Xianyuanli Ji's blood is boiling. Now, it's really impossible to stop halfway. His eyes flashed a cold light. He must directly refuse Mu Qian today. Granted, Mu Wushuang would lose his mind. He is the only one person whose strength is in the martial king. He believed he can counter it with numbers. In fact, he doesn't have any other choice left. As for the witnesses present, he will warn them not to spread any word from today. Once she get out, he will kill her. He's the emperor, no one could disobey him. Xianyuanli Ji's killing intent is getting more obvious. Mu Qian slightly lifted up her eyebrow. The emperor's insight is smaller than she imagined. Want to kill her? He can try. When the emperor was about to give his order, a cold voice came. The audience was quiet. All the people inside did not dare to go out. Cliffhanger is real. Who is this person helping our MC? Still far from enough. If the emperor won't keep his words, then there's no need to keep this kingdom existing either. A pleasant yet intimidating voice resounded. The suffocating cold air filled the whole Purple Moon Palace and made them feel that it can destroy everything like evil spirits would. Jiu Yi was like an invisible man that made them almost forgot that he was here from the beginning. Xianyuanli Ji's palms were in a cold sweat. How could he forget this evil star is here? D.A.M.N. But this evil star is helping Mu Qian unexpectedly. No. If Mu Qian really has this evil star support, even if she went directly into the royal treasury and removed all the things from there, he cannot deal with her. This evil star heard all what he have promised. If he came to know that he, XLZ, would renege on his moment of boredom, this kingdom would cease to exist. No one can guess what's on the mind of this evil star. Jiu Yi and Mu Qian are two unrelated people, these two have never crossed each other's paths. Besides, there is a fact that Jiu Yi is disgusted with a woman. The emperor would never believe that Jiu Yi is helping Mu Qian. If this demon has a relationship with her and she asks for his throne in the future, he can only serve it with both hands. The result was terrible, so he would never think of such a bad idea to be true. Xianyuan Ji composed himself and said, Zhen has always honored one's words, therefore. The emperor felt that his heart is in pain, but he have to fulfill his promises, else this Ashura beside him will definitely make this whole place a living hell. And everyone in this room, including him, will turn into cold white bones. Mu Qian sensed his fear, she ridiculed him. Your Majesty, therefore what? During her time in the Royal Academy, she felt all the people inside were afraid of Jiu Yi. But did not think that people fears him to this point, even the emperor is also afraid of him to death. With just his words alone, the emperor's murderous intent vanished in a blink of an eye. What the hell did this guy do to make the emperor fear him like this? Xianyuan Ji explained. This is the case, last year there has been drought in the northwest. They needed to provide relief to ton of people, but the funds in the state treasury is not enough, therefore the officials went to gather funds here at the royal treasury. The people at the royal treasury are so careless that the money they've allocated came from your dowry instead. In addition, 6 months ago, one of the neighboring countries sent soldiers with armored horses to attack us. Our army funds aren't enough, so to provide sufficient military resources for our men. A little bit was taken from your dowry. Furthermore, last year's winter blizzard. The emperor listed out a long list of events from a year and a half ago, these are all his excuses for the missing parts of her dowry. A year and a half ago, he decreed Mu Qian and Xianyuan Tian's marriage, and at the same time, a huge amount of dowry filled the treasury. In addition to these expenditures, there are also gifts to the imperial concubines, princes and ministers. He even gave the neighboring kingdom's emperor gifts to show off. All of it was from Mu Qian's dowry. The hole he made on her dowry is a little big and generally isn't easy to repair. In Mu Qian's eyes flashed a trace of killing intent, she asked with a cold voice. Then tell me, Your Majesty, how much is left on my dowry? Xianyuan Ji answered in a loud voice. Only half remains. Such a fortune that can shake the heaven, only half left. All the people understood that the military funds and the drought relief funds absolutely didn't amount so much. And the expenditure of those, a large part of it did not fall into the hands of victims and soldiers. The only one furious at this moment is General Yu, the Grand Marshal of the army. During the war against the Qing kingdom, if the emperor provided the soldiers even 1% of Mu Qian's dowry, they could have superb armors and weapons for the whole infantry. But reality is harsh. Not only their armors are worn out but also their weapons are all dull. Against the full body armor of the Qing soldiers, his brothers were crushed as easy as lifting a hand. The general truly regrets having this kind of emperor. He, Axel Z, speaks in a fancy manner. General Yu couldn't help but sneer and curse him in his heart. Yu Su felt his father's expression is a bit strange, he asked. Father, what's wrong with you? Me? Nothing's wrong, perhaps say your choice is the right one. Half. Even if it's only half, I'll take it back first. Good. Xianyuan Ji nodded. If Mu Qian agreed to accept his reasoning easily like this, then he can just put all his worries in the past. It would be bad news to have him fill that vacancy after all. He is hoping in his heart that Mu Qian would not dwell on the missing parts of her dowry. The palace guards carried a lot of treasures inside. The eyes of the people watching are glistening upon taking a peek at the treasures inside, and their hearts are screaming. I want to rob. Mu Qian waved her hand. Shadows, Yusei, begin counting. Make sure that everything matches with our list. Yes. Every year, the Purple Moon Festival is always celebrated inside the palace. But Mu Qian counted all these treasures in front of His Majesty and other officials. This experience is absolutely unique in all of the past dinner they've attended. Xianyuan Li Ji did not dare to show off one bit of grudge, and even the evil star is watching quietly. If any of his actions displeases him, it will be dangerous. The shadows and Yusei's counting speed are fast, and in a while the inventory is finished. She said. Yusei, read to His Majesty what is missing. Yes. What happened today is too much, and bit by bit, Yusei's heart finally adjusted from Mu Qian's abrupt actions. Xianyuan Li Ji looked gloomy after hearing what Mu Qian said. He whispered. Yu Zi. General Yu's eldest son. With the emperor's sudden glare and coercion, Yusei's body was slightly startled. He felt his throat is jammed with something, and somehow he became speechless. He then turned to look at the figure in purple dress, decisively ket his palms using his sharp fingernail. The tingling sensation brought him back to his senses. He can't feel fear. Just like how this girl faces her enemies bravely. No matter how grave the situation is, he has stay calm. He just needs to read a list of items. What is there to fear? Yusei calmly said. There are still 10 pieces of Luohu Gla. S jade, 20,000 pieces of 1,000-year snow lotus. This boy really has the courage. His Majesty's warning didn't work. Xianyuan Li Ji couldn't hide the fire in his eyes. Mu Qian's lips slightly evoked a smile. She indeed finds herself an excellent little brother. After Yusei finished reading the long list, Mu Qian asked. Your Majesty, after all, today is still a national day. So you don't have the time to borrow money to complete my dowry, right? Since that is the case, may I know when will His Majesty pay the remaining debts? Xianyuan Li Ji's eyes are burning with anger, but Mu Qian she is still not finished. He has made such a big concession, yet she is still not satisfied. The fact that dowry is the property of Mu Qian she completely slipped off his mind. She asking back all of it was the right thing to do. Sorry, got a little late at uploading. I was sick these past few days, but I'm okay now. Shameless emperor I've ever seen, or read. Even his generalny's having doubts on him. Let's call him the shameless emperor from today. You will not defile my lake. Mu Qian continued. I shall soon be 16 years old, and this dowry cannot be dragged on any longer. For His Majesty's hard work of keeping it for me for over a year and a half, I won't put interest on the money you've owed to me. But before I reach adulthood, may His Majesty pay it all. What does His Majesty think? The veins on the Emperor's forehead are popping from anger, but still composed himself and said gently. Sheer, you are only 3 months away from adulthood. I am afraid that in such a short period of time, Zhen may not make up the missing parts of your dowry. Admitting this is a very humiliating thing, especially in front of so many people, but he really is speaking the truth. Don't say 3 months, even if it is 3 years he also can't pay it all. Even if he is the king of this kingdom, there are things that he still cannot do. Mu Qian comforted him. Don't worry, I won't give His Majesty a hard time regarding this. Xianyuan Li Ji froze. From the beginning she was already being aggressive. When did she become someone easy to talk to? Let's do it like this. I've heard someone speak about a huge medicine field inside the palace. Recently, I've become interested in concocting immortality pills. Your Majesty, how about we make that garden as a collateral for the missing half of my dowry? Mu Qian smiled. The crowd's mouth can't help but twitch. How much knowledge does she have regarding on concocting pills? They never have thought that Mu Qian is interested of being an alchemist. The royal medicine field and half of Mu Qian's dowry indeed don't have much difference in terms of value. In order to finish this quickly and while the people's minds is still in haze, Xianyuan Li Ji planned to compromise. Father Emperor. This time, the crown prince opened his mouth. The herbs in the medicine field are too precious. It would be such a waste for this woman to use it. Xianyuan Li Ji said. Shang'er, don't say anything, since Xi'er made her request. It's only natural to meet her demands. Mu Qian then ordered the shadows to put away the other things back home, turned to Xianyuan Li Ji and said. Your Majesty, please take me to the medicine field. Mu Qian can't wait to see the imperial medicine field. There must be a whole lot of precious herbs in there. As long as Mu Qian gathers all the herbs inside, she can formulate new elixirs and refine a lot of medicine pellets. Come. Take Xi'er inside the medicine field. After Mu Qian left, the emperor let out a sigh. He secretly said. The debt collector is finally gone. Xianyuan Li Ji waved his one hand and said. Tonight's dinner is over, everyone may leave. Exhale. The crowd can finally relax, the events happened tonight made them scared than hurt. Compared to beating Ouyang Wei, Mu Qian was happier when she gets back her dowry. But most of all, her excitement is at the top for the medicinal herbs waiting for her. For Mu Qian, money is nothing compared to medicines. In her past life until now, medicines is her favorite thing. In a while, a higher-rank eunuch brought a jade tablet over to Mu Qian. She then showed the tablet to the guard in front of the gates of medicine field. She said. Yuzhe, go back outside with the eunuch. I won't take long. A large field of medicinal herbs greets Mu Qian. There are at least thousands of different herbs for making elixirs inside. Emperor Xianyuan believed that Mu Qian couldn't take much considering how small her build is, and the fact that she was the only one allowed to go inside the medicine field made him feel more assured. When Mu Qian is gone, the emperor would order to transplant all the precious herbs in another place. When she comes back to take another batch and saw nothing is left, Mu Qian can't say the emperor didn't keep his promise. Naturally, Mu Qian knows what's going on with the emperor's mind. That old fox thinks he's so smart, let's see what his reaction will be if I took all of the herbs here. Ah Ting, can you open a field for the herbs inside your SPCE? We have to move all of it immediately. Ah Ting screamed. Ugly woman, you will defile my lake again. Don't think I will gladly agree. In Ah Ting's SPCE, in addition to the small pavilion is an endless lake. The last time Mu Qian smeared the lake, Ah Ting kicked her out. Mu Qian smirked. I want to transplant these elixirs, if you do not agree, I will go straight to Jiu Yi and ask him to take you instead. He's so powerful, he should have a way to lift the contract between us. In a flash, Ah Ting felt he was about to faint. Mu Qian Shi Ubastard. In spite of everything, you also want to hand me over to that dreadful man. Can you change the way you threaten people? Are you doing it or not? Can I have a third choice? No. Fine. I'll move a piece of land for you. You must cover the whole field of medicinal herbs with your qi, then you can put it in. Ah Ting finally surrendered, he never wanted to fall into the hands of that terrible man. Good. Mu Qian laughed happily. Mu Qian covers the whole field of medicinal herbs with her qi that even a mid-level alchemist can't do. But she does it so easily. In the blink of an eye, the whole field of medicinal herbs, which had gathered together 1,000 GRA. Was left without a single weed. Inside the SPCE of the Chaos Zhejiang Pavilion, Ah Ting saw a small island in the clear lake. The spiritual water has increased the growing period of the plants. A day inside the lake is equivalent to a year outside. Mu Qian's eyes shine at this discovery. Although Ah Ting is Mu Qian's contractor, Ah Ting guarded his lake heavily. He sternly said, Ned woman, I opened up this small SPC already, you can't do this again next time. If later, his lake was full of herbs and he could not see the water anymore, he thought he would go mad. Mu Qian said, Don't be so greedy. Your lake is so big, give me a piece of it. Don't push your luck, you ugly woman. Okay. When I walked out from the palace, I will talk to Zhou Yi to take you. Even if you're a legendary artifact, I won't keep anything useless. Mu Qian said some distressed words. Ned woman, you're so cruel. Ah Ting helplessly opened up a wide area in his SPCE. Afterwards, Ah Ting resolutely warned Mu Qian. Ugly woman, until the second layer of the pavilion is sealed. Mark my words, even if I die, I won't let you defile my lake again. Good. Then I'll open the second layer next time. Mu Qian paid no heed to his nonsense. Poor Ah Ting being bullied by Mu Qian. Mad and coughing blood, this emperor is absolutely petty. He even put up a complicated array for this medicine field. I'm sure that old fox is hiding the most precious herbs under that array. Ah Ting said in a nonchalant way. What? Mu Qian froze. She then asked. Can you break it? Sure, but you have to promise me something first. This guy learned how to bargain with her. Mu Qian was quite shocked. What is it? Don't waste my time, just say it. When the second layer of the pavilion opens, that's only the time where the SPCE here would expand. Until then, promise me that you won't ask me to open up a field for you on the lake again. Didn't I already promise you that? But I don't believe it. How dark your heart is, you think I don't know. Mu Qian slightly twitched, she said. Okay, I promise you. Is that enough? That's pretty much the same. In the end, Ah Ting decided to trust on Mu Qian's promise. In a little while, Mu Qian felt a spiritual force belonging to Ah Ting exudes, followed by a crisp voice. Break! Suddenly there was a smoke in front of Mu Qian, and after the smoke had dispersed, another field of medicine appeared in front of her. This field is a lot smaller than the one that Mu Qian just put away. But the value exceeds the other and 100 times higher. First-grade medicine pellet, second-grade medicine pellet, it seems the emperor doesn't have third grade here. You really have to learn to be content. What more do you want from this desolate place? Ah Ting lazily said. Once again, Mu Qian spread out her qi and the imperial medicine field is now completely empty. Mu Qian came out and laughed. Yuzhe, let's go. Yuzhe went in front of the medicine field's gate to secretly see the situation. But as he was about to look, Mu Qian came out. She just went in for a while. Yuzhe thought Mu Qian didn't take much. Outside the palace's gates, Mu Qian parted ways to Yuzhe. You can go back to your house. Yuzhe froze. He asked. You're going back alone. Today, Mu Qian deliberately exposed the price of her dowry. It is inevitable that someone ill-intentioned would shot her. You must have faith in my family. Mu Qian just laughed. When Mu Qian was away from the palace, she felt the murderous air around her getting denser. Such a fortune is enough to make people feel rich, but do the people here in the Purple Moon Kingdom think they can get it easily from her? Bang! 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 The people hiding in the dark were solved by the group of people in black clothes. These people aren't Mu Qian's shadows but the Emperor's hidden guards. The money that came from the mouth of the emperor, no one can grab it. If the emperor can't get it, then he absolutely won't let others get it either. The emperor gave it back, but his heart is truly bleeding, and what makes him madder is he can't do anything to Mu Qianxi. If Mu Qian was killed on her way home, Mu Wushuang would go berserk. He would have the courage to point his blade to the whole royal family. So Mu Qian must go back safely. With the emperor's protection, who can grab Mu Qianxi's dowry? Mu Qian got home safely and was about to take a rest. Your Majesty, Lord Mu went home safely. A dark guard quietly came to report. Good. As long as the Mu Jia is still in my Purple Moon Kingdom, even if Mu Qian took my money away from here, it will all go back to my hands someday. Emperor Xianyuan coldly said. Your Majesty, the Crown Prince is asking for an audience. Let him in. The emperor looked at Xianyuan Li Shang. He is most satisfied with this son. Father Emperor, forgive this one's lack of knowledge, but can I ask why did you let Mu Qianxi have the imperial medicine field? I really want to know why. Xianyuan Li Shang's voice is full of grievances. That medicine field is worth a fortune. Emperor Xianyuan explained. Our royal medicine field has a powerful array hiding the most precious ones inside. Mu Qian can only see the common herbs, therefore Jin didn't have to worry. Jin guarantees, we won't lose much. Your Majesty, not good, not good. This time, the higher rank eunuch stumbled and dashed inside the room. What's the matter? Emperor Xianyuan had a bad premonition. Your Majesty, Lord Mu has emptied the entire royal medicine field, including the different grades of medicine pellets. What did you say? The emperor completely cannot believe what he heard, his body flashed and rushed out immediately. Xianyuan Li Shang was somehow flabbergasted. He remembers that his father emperor's cultivation isn't high and is only at martial master. However, just now, he definitely saw that his father emperor's strength is at the peak of 9th stage martial king. Xianyuan Li Shang didn't think that his father emperor would hide his true strength. The emperor who deceived the world for almost a decade suddenly exposed himself. Something big has surely happened. Emperor Xianyuan looked at the medicine field where even a single GRAS can't be seen. How is this possible? How can she break the powerful array? And how did she able to move so many herbs in an instant? Minute. Mu Qianxi, what kind of demon is you? Emperor Xuanyuan's face becomes darker than the bottom of the pot. This Purple Moon Festival is definitely a holiday he won't ever forget. Not only did he lose all the fortune in his pockets but also lose all the herbs and medicine pellets of the royal family. These medicines are supposed to be his trump card against other kingdoms, but now. Cough. Emperor Xianyuan coughed out a mouthful of blood. That little vixen. Mu Qian caused so much damage to his royal family, yet he sent some people to guard her safely to her home. At this moment, Emperor Xianyuan hated the fact that he didn't kill her earlier. I'll kill you. I'll kill all your 9 generations. I will kill all of you. Emperor Xuanyuan's anger skyrocketed. His eyes are red and his face twists up. Cough. Due to the sudden burst of anger, Xianyuan Li Ji coughed up another mouthful of blood. The emperor felt his eyesight turn dim and his legs were shaking a bit. A sharp voice came. Your Majesty. The voice of the crown prince is trembling as he hurriedly tried to support his father. Thawed. Today is the Purple Moon Festival. After many events that stimulated the emperor's emotions and added with how he coughed up blood many times. His body can't take it anymore and he fainted. In the Mu Jia's residence, Mu Wushuang faintly raised his head towards the direction of the imperial palace. In his eyes flashed a glimmer of light, peak of the 9th stage martial king. The emperor finally exposed his true strength today. The corner of his mouth evoked a subtle curvature. The emperor is seriously ill. The palace was in chaos. At the same time, there is also a big mess in the Ouyang clan. Although Ouyang Wei's injuries are all healed, another serious illness suddenly broke out. The entire skin in her body began to fester and rot. Even the palace's chief alchemist doesn't have a clue on what is happening either. After 3 days, Mu Qian heard news about the Ouyang clan finding all sorts of medical treatment for their eldest daughter, Ouyang Wei. While Mu Qian took advantage of the large number of medicinal herbs she collected, she had refined a lot of elixirs and medicinal pellets over these days. Mu Qian also tried to improve her knowledge in medicines, to let the little uncle's body to restore the best state as soon as possible. As long as the royal family does not provoke her first, she won't bother to waste her time with them. There is also the Ouyang clan. Mu Qian she smiled evilly. Come. Deliver my message to the Ouyang's lord. Tell him that this lord has a medicinal pellet that can cure any kind of illness. He can use it to Ouyang Wei, but he must show some sincerity first. I feel a little bit of pity for the emperor. He seems to have a high blood. Is there a cure for that sickness in that ancient time? Poor him. But for Ouyang Wei, she definitely deserves everything. More. Suffer more. You can't stand it. This subordinate obeys. After that, the servant went to Ouyang clan to deliver the news. Mu Qian smirked. Her father Mu Fengyun had left an enormous amount of treasures for her, but the medicine pellet that can cure any illness is a lie she just made up. That day, in addition to Ouyang Wei's injuries, Mu Qian secretly poured poison to Ouyang Wei's body. Mu Qian is the one who concocted that poison. Naturally she has a way to solve it. What? She has a way to save my daughter. When the Ouyang lord heard the news, he was shocked. In the whole Purple Moon Kingdom he already tried every way, even in the neighboring kingdom where alchemists are abundant, all the alchemist he called to treat Ouyang Wei's illness is helpless. No matter how much the Ouyang lord refused to believe, it seems that only the medicine pellet that Mu Qian has is his only chance to save his daughter. He recalled that Mu Qian's father, Mu Fengyun, once created a lot of miracles and left Mu Qian with a lot of treasures. Sincerity, ha. The Ouyang lord took a deep breath and spat out these 2 words. In the Purple Moon Festival, Mu Qian was so aggressive. She forced the emperor to return back all her dowry that made the emperor coughed up blood and fall into coma till today. Now Mu Qian is asking for the Ouyang lord's sincerity, he whispered. Why do I have a bad feeling? Once he agreed on Mu Qian's assistance, the Ouyang lord felt that several layers of his skin will be peeled off first. Father, don't hesitate, my sister is dying. Ouyang Ji anxiously said. At the same time, the second young master, Ouyang Xiang, is furious. He punched the wall and said. If worst comes to worst, I'll SNTCH the antidote from the Mujia's residence. That D.A.M.N. Mu Qian has a medicine that can save my sister, but she still doesn't come out. She even dared to ask for our sincerity. Ouyang Ju was angry at Ouyang Xiang's words and reprimanded him. Outrageous. UBASTRD. Did you forget that Mu Wushuang is at the Mujia? Are you even sure you can come back here alive? At the mention of Mu Wushuang's name, the arrogance of Ouyang Xiang instantly disappeared. Ouyang Ju said heavily. Jir, go to Mujia. Invite Mu Qian Shi here in our home. Be sure to bring the lord here. Ouyang Wei is his only daughter, moreover Ouyang Wei's appearance and innate skill is both exceptional. Her prospects are limitless. Their Ouyang clan spent so much effort to train Ouyang Wei. Ouyang-ju can't let her fall before she has a big role to play. Ouyang-ji bows down his head and said, "Yes. I will certainly bring the Mujia's lord here." "Lord, the eldest master has arrived." Mu Qianxi, who had been very busy for 3 days, was resting when she heard someone report that Ouyang-ji has arrived. She lazily said, "Oh. I didn't imagine it would be this quick. Let them wait, I'll continue my nap." "Yes, my lord." The lord of the house made him wait. Ouyang-ji's face is gloomy. Is this Mu Qian's way of picking a fight, is what he thought. If he could, he would have turned away. But Wei's life is at stake, they still need Mu Qian's medicine to save Ouyang Wei's life. He mustn't go. A whole afternoon has passed, said. Ouyang-ji is the eldest young master of the Ouyang clan. In the Purple Moon Kingdom, no one can neglect him, but now, he was being subjected to such treatment. He was completely angry. How long will Lord Mu continue to let this young master wait? The old housekeeper smiled and said, "Ouyang's young master, I already told you that our lord is busy. If you really want to meet our lord, please be patient." Ouyang-ji clenched his fist, he must endure. This time, a blue figure appeared in front of him. Ouyang-ji quickly said, "Yuzhe, you've come at the right time. Hurry up and let Mu Qianxi come to see me." Yuzhe looked at him indifferently and said, "Leader is sleeping, there's no way I could disturb her for you." Crash! Ouyang-ji was so angry, he hit the table to pieces. Ouyang-ji grits his teeth and asked once again, "What did you say?" "Mu Qianxi is sleeping. If Mu Qian is reading a book or cultivating, he can endure. But he learned that Mu Qian is just sleeping, it's unbearable." "Mu Jia, is this your so-called hospitality?" Ouyang-ji flicked his sleeves and was about to head out but was blocked by Yuzhe instead. Yuzhe coldly said, "Ouyang-ji, if you want to go I won't stop you, but at the very least, you must have to compensate for the things you've broken here in the Mu Jia. If leader finds out, she will be upset." Looking at the table he smashed to pieces, Ouyang-ji remembered the days Xianyuan Tian broke Mu Qian's carriage and have asked for a hefty sum. Ouyang-ji felt a sharp pain in his stomach. "Why didn't I just hold back?" Yuzhe asked the old housekeeper. "How much is this table?" After a few more days with Mu Qianxi, Yuzhe became more and more like her little brother. The old housekeeper smiled gently and said, "It's not expensive. In fact, it's only 100,000 gold taels." Ouyang-ji's eyes were wide and retorted, "What? 100,000 gold taels? You might as well just rob me then." Yuzhe coldly said, "Ouyang-ji, if you won't pay for the damages you've done, I'm afraid you can't leave yet." "Me? No. No. I won't go. I won't leave until I get to see Mu Qianxi." Ouyang-ji knows he acted impulsively. If he can't think of a way to please Mu Qianxi today, his sister would surely be dead by tomorrow. So no matter how angry he was, he must continue to wait until Mu Qianxi arrived. When the sun went down, a purple figure finally appeared in front of Ouyang-ji. Ouyang-ji's voice is low and deep. "Mu Jia's lord, I'm sure you've rested enough. Hurry up and come with me to the Ouyang's residence and treat my younger sister's illness. I've waited patiently for you the whole afternoon. I'm sure you'll see more of our sincerity there." Mu Qian gazed around the room and had taken a glance at the shattered table. She coldly said, "Sincerity? Your sincerity is to come to my house to destroy my house property." Ouyang-ji clenched his fists, unwilling to let go. He said, "Man proposes, heaven disposes," in his head many times. "Lord Mu, as long as you come with me to the Ouyang clan, I promise to pay the 100,000 gold taels for the table I've broken. Our Ouyang clan isn't short on money. Mu Qian made an humph sound and said. If you want to pay, pay now. Not 100,000 taels, but 200,000 taels. Ouyang Ji wanted to run away. 200,000 taels. Don't push your luck too hard. Mu Qian crossed her arms and said. This table was bought more than 10 years ago, and is worth 600,000 taels gold. Don't you think it was you who's making this deal low-priced? Yuzhe very admiringly looked at his leader. His behavior before is not enough. Ouyang Ji's heart is burning with a blazing fire that he almost burned himself to death. Mu Qian she is worthy enough to make the emperor lose his composure and made someone faint with anger alone. With just a bit of words, Ouyang Ji can't stand up for himself. He wanted to hurry up bringing her back into the Ouyang's residence. He took a deep breath and said. Mu Ji is lord, whether I pay for this table isn't our priority. You have to go with me to cure my younger sister. You're right. Mu Qian calmly agreed. When Ouyang Ji heard Mu Qian's confirmation, he felt relieved. As long as she went with him back into his home, Ouyang Ji will acknowledge the 200,000 gold taels he owes. Ouyang Ji felt that he would go mad if he would stay in Mu Qian's home any longer. Ouyang Ji is worthy enough to be called the young master of the Ouyang clan. Even though he's rich and has a cold heart, he would pay any debts he owes to people. No more, no less. Yuzhe, come with me to the Ouyang clan. Mu Qian laughed. Yes, leader. Yuzhe nodded. Ouyang Lord, Ouyang Ju eldest son, Ouyang Ji second son, Ouyang Xiang eldest daughter, Ouyang Wei. There are still more of them as the novel goes on. Sorry for the late update. My coworkers and I are on official business and I only have short time to continue the translations. Don't worry, after the Chinese New Year, I'll update one chapter per day again. In exchange for you. Mu Qian drew her new carriage's design today and had already sent it to someone to finish it as soon as possible. Naturally, for today's trip, she took a seat inside one of the Ouyang's carriage. In the carriage, Mu Qian leisurely closed her eyes. All the way she remained calm till they arrived inside the Ouyang clan's residence. In addition to Ouyang Ju, a lot of the Ouyang's clan members came to greet Mu Qian. Ouyang Ju raised his face with a smile and said. For Mu Jia's lord to come here today to cure my daughter's illness, I, Ouyang Ju, can't express my gratitude enough. Ouyang Ju was full of smiles, but in his side, Ouyang Xiang wanted to come forward and beat Mu Qian so much, with a face full of indignation. This woman who's been bullied by them all the time was now greeted by a lot of them, and Ouyang Xiang felt that it was all useless for them to do so in the first place. But when Ouyang Xiang's hostile gaze fell into Yuzhe's piercing eyes, he could only turn away. Ouyang Xiang knew he can't beat Yuzhe. Mu Qian's appearance and manner seemed like a sister concerned for her sibling. She said in a gentle tone. Can I go see the situation of Ouyang Wei first? How is she? I'm not sure if the medicine my father had left me can cure elder sister Wei's illness. Ouyang Ju laughed and said. Good girl. Please come inside, come inside. Ouyang Ju guided Mu Qian she into Ouyang Wei's boudoir. On the bed, Ouyang Wei's appearance can no longer be called a human. Her whole body has become pitch black and 2/3 of her skin is rotting. This time, Ouyang Wei, who's deeply asleep, suddenly let out some words. Her voice was very small, but everyone heard it clearly. Mu Qian she. I'll cut you into pieces. So close to dying yet still cursing Mu Qian shi, everyone can see how much resentment Ouyang Wei has towards Mu Qian shi. Ouyang Ju's face is filled with embarrassment and said. Lord Mu, my daughter is still young, not sensible enough and somewhat willful. Please pay no heed on what she's saying. Please go ahead and see if you can treat her illness. He repeated these words so that Mu Qian can't hear another cursing from Ouyang Wei's mouth. At the side, Yu Zhe rolled his eyes and thought. Young. Ouyang Wei will be 18 this year while Leader isn't an adult up till now. Ouyang Ju's face thickness is comparable to a wall. He even dares to say in front of Leader that Ouyang Wei is still young. Mu Qian started to check the physical condition of Ouyang Wei and slightly frowned, resulting to Ouyang Ju's heart rate to jump around. Lord Mu, can your medicine save my daughter? Ouyang Ju nervously asked. Mu Qian sighed. Too serious. How did elder sister's situation become so poor like this? Yu Zhe on the side is not a bit worried. Although he doesn't have a clue on Ouyang Wei's illness, his intuition tells him that Mu Qian is connected with this whole thing. Now, Leader even showed such a sad expression. Her acting is simply amazing. Ouyang Ju's face is gloomy but still asked. In the end, can you save her? Her condition is at worst. Not only do I need my father's medicine pellet but I also need a special kind of water to eradicate the poisons on her body. These two distinct things value is high. Afterwards, Mu Qian smiled lightly. Lord Mu, as long as you can cure my daughter, as long as it's something that the Ouyang clan can do. I promise you one thing without saying anything further. Ouyang Ju firmly said. Mu Qian smiled and said. The Ouyang lord sure if fond of his kids, not stingy in the least. To see the Ouyang lord doting on his daughter like this sure is enviable. Don't worry, this lord won't ask much. Quick. Tell me your request. Weier's illness can't be dragged on. Ouyang Ju hastily said. Mu Qian indifferently said. Previously, this lord isn't intelligent enough. A few of my family properties, medicine shops, silk fabric shops, restaurants that my father built through painstaking efforts was exchanged with Ouyang Wei's precious objects. I've brought all of these precious objects today to take back what I've already traded. I'm sure the Ouyang lord won't refuse, right? Bam! Mu Qian waved her hand. Precisely few brightly colored pearls and jades was placed on the floor. Moreover, a large part of these collections are fakes. At that time, Mu Qian was swayed by Mu Ruyun's words. The former Mu Qian doesn't know how much has she been cheated on with Ouyang Wei's deceits. After the two of them stole Mu Qian's possessions, they secretly split the spoils between them. The Mu Jia's lord did not know these things, but after Mu Qian she was reborn to this world, she clearly saw what happened at that time. Ouyang Wei used these cheap items to exchange for many shops that can bring a lot of income to the Ouyang clan. Only a fool can agree to such schemes. Although the value of these businesses is great, Mu Qian is still the one holding on to Ouyang Ju's daughter's life. Ouyang Ju nodded. These shops are originally from your family, it's only right to trade it back. We have no opinions as long as Lord Mu can save Weier's life. Ouyang Ju ordered Ouyang Ji. Jir, get the please of the shops and treasures that Weier exchanged with Lord Mu. After that, take a few please of our shops for Lord Mu. Ouyang Ji's heart is unwilling that almost made him coughed up blood. Many huge businesses were exchanged for some worn-out goods. He understood that Mu Qian she is truly ruthless. Another shameless one, get the facts right, dude. That isn't yours to begin with. WTH. The fact that these junk was originally Ouyang Wei's, completely left their minds. Only the Ouyang lord felt refreshed when he gave back the things Mu Qian she owns originally. Mu Qian said. Yu Zhe, you have the lists of the accounts, see if there's less. Yes. The time it takes an incense to burn Paas said. Yusei reported. No less. Ouyang Ju said. Then Lord Mu, since these things are cleared already, can you now treat Wei? Mu Qian laughed at his silly mind and said. Ouyang Lord, why are you so anxious? This lord only mentioned the little trinkets your daughter has exchanged with me. Did you think that your daughter's life is worth only that much? And Mu Qian Shi. Aren't those still enough? What equivalent exchange? The value of those things is as different as heaven and earth. Ouyang Ju cursed Mu Qian Shi from the bottom of his heart 1,000 times. But the smile on his face continued. Forgive me, but I don't have a clue. What are the other requirements? Let's see, what else you have in the Ouyang clan. Mu Qian touched her chin and said. She then turned to look at Yusei and asked. Yusei, you are more familiar with the affairs in this kingdom than me. Tell me what other valuable things the Ouyang clan has. Ouyang Ju, Ouyang Ji, and Ouyang Xiang are cursing non-stop in their hearts. They have a feeling that Mu Qian will not stop unless she got all of their money out. Didn't she just say it would not be too much? Even the dead can't pay. Mu Qian and Yusei apparently came prepared. Yusei took out a piece of paper and began to read. Leader, apparently the Purple Moon Kingdom's most prosperous shops, which is in the Ziyun Street, all belong to the Ouyang clan. There are several estates outside the city, covering a wide area. On the end of the paper, the handsome face of Yusei suddenly flushed red. This. Based on Yusei's reaction, you can clearly guess what kind of business is the last. Ha ha ha. Poor Yusei, how embarrassing would it be for him to read it in front of so many people? How to precisely loot a burning house. Mu Qian looked down and said. Isn't these the pleasure house in the Willow Cloud Lane, Dream Lake's flower boats and names for the long row of brothels? Why are you blushing? Leader, this. Yusei was embarrassed. Said from Mu Qian's questions. Mu Qian patted his shoulder and grinned. What's embarrassed? Sing. These 3 properties will soon be mine, so you could play to your heart's content. How many beauties do you want? You can even call out the highest courtesan. The handsome and innocent face of Yusei flushed red once again by Mu Qian's remarks. Leader, please don't. Why not? It's necessary for you, since you're already 17 years old. 1 year later, you'll reach adulthood. Even all the male in this room have experienced it. So I don't see the reason why can't you. She added. Don't tell me, General Yu is mistreating you. Mu Qian and Yusei are speaking with each other like no one else is in the room. A long black line appeared on Ouyang Ju's forehead. Cough. Cough. Lord Mu, Ouyang Ju didn't promise to give her these properties. But she directly told everyone it would be hers soon. Mu Qian laughed. Yusei continued to read. Yusei took out another list, composed himself and said. There is also the 1,000 gold gambling lane. Behind this are a medicine store where aphrodisiacs are sold. Ouyang clan is very well off, and even more when Mu Qian's father had left. Then as Ouyang's only compet. Tor getting weaker and weaker, and some of the Mu Jia's properties were taken from Mu Qian, the Ouyang clan continued to flourish. Although the overall properties of the Ouyang clan can't compare to the Mu Jia's, they are still the second wealthiest clan in the Purple Moon Kingdom. Mu Qian waved her hand to stop Yusei from reading and said. Ouyang Lord, I'm not asking for much, but if you give me the ones Yusei has already read, I can save your daughter at once. Mu Qian laughed innocently. Am I right, Yusei? Yusei smiled and said in a clear and loud voice. Leader has always been very kind. Mu Qian is like a lion that uses its full strength even when hunting a rabbit. Lord Mu, these properties are important to sustain our Ouyang clan, if you ask for it all. What would happen to us? Ouyang Ju lowly said. That's your clan's problem, what does it have to do with me? If you agree I'll save Ouyang Wei, if not then just wait for Lord Yama to collect her then. Mu Qian winked at Yusei and decided to walk out the room. Ouyang Ju's facial expression suddenly changed. If Mu Qian took those properties he would lose a lot of money, but if he won't agree not only would he lose some of his assets but also her only daughter as well. Eventually, he said. Lord Mu, please wait. I agree. These properties are valuable but not as important as Weier's life. Ouyang Ji and Ouyang Wei are about to explode, it's painfully obvious to them that Mu Qian Shi is threatening their father. Ouyang Xiang wanted to teach Mu Qian a lesson but was pulled back by his eldest brother, Ouyang Ji, he said. Little brother, wait. Don't act impulsively, even if those properties land on Mu Qian's hands that don't mean that she's good at doing business. We will wait until she can't handle it all and beg us to buy it back. Ouyang Ji said. It's still eldest brother who knows best. All kinds of property deeds were given to Yusei which made him dazzled. After the handover is completed, Ouyang Ju hastily asked. Lord Mu, now you can cure Weier, please she's dying. Mu Qian took out a medicine bottle, she said. This is the elixir to eradicate the poison. Ouyang Lord must feed this down first to Ouyang Wei and will wait for a while to give her the medicine pellet for the wounds that continues to fester. Good. Ouyang Ju took the bottle and hurriedly went to Ouyang Wei's bedside. When Ouyang Ju opened the bottle and let Ouyang Wei drink the medicine, Mu Qian whispered to Yusei. Hurry and cover your nose, seal your sense of smell. Yusei doesn't know why she wanted him to do it, but since she's the leader whatever she say is right. Cough. 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 Bleck. The stench that comes from Ouyang Wei's body is becoming more horrible by every seconds, as it fumes. The father and sons who were so close to Ouyang Wei was about to faint from the smell alone. Ouyang Xiang furiously said. Mu Qian Shi, what kind of life-saving water is this? D-A-M-N. It's poison isn't it? Blarg. It stinks so much. After saying that, Ouyang Xiang couldn't stand the stench any longer and began to puke. Yusei has closed his sense of smell. He cannot imagine how stinky it would be after Ouyang Wei drunk the elixir, but seeing how the father and son's expressions, how miserable would it be? Mu Jia's lord. Ouyang Ju's complexion at this moment is as dark as an ink. Lord Mu, better not deceive me else you will not leave this place alive. Ouyang Ju dropped his entire pretense and ruthlessly said. Mu Qian answered. That's natural, Mu Qian she would not go here just to tease Ouyang Lord. Otherwise how could I only bring Yusei and no one else here right now? With just the two of us, how can we leave alive from here? You know this would happen when Weier took the elixir, yet. You cough. Ouyang Ju planned to scold Mu Qian, yet his face distorted from the stench which made him unable to say anything further. Although he already closed his sense of smell, but as he remembered that rotten stench, he may not eat for a month. Mu Qian smirked. This is the elixir for her poison, the effects is naturally different with others, but this lord guarantees that it would completely eradicate the toxins in Ouyang Wei's body. Ouyang Ju said. Then I'll believe in Lord Mu's words, else I won't allow you to return. Ouyang Ju lifted the elixir and feed the remaining contents to Ouyang Wei. For a moment, Ouyang Wei behaved strangely and can't settle down like a person who is having a seizure. Ah! 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 Ouyang Wei began to shout. Ouyang Ju raised his eyes filled with killing intent to Mu Qian. Mu Qian Shi. How do you explain this? Mu Qian calmly said. This is a normal reaction. The elixir's effects is greater when the one who drinks it shows reaction like this. This means that the success rate of her treatment will be higher. Hold her down so she could take the medicine pellet next. Hurry up and hold down Wei. Ouyang Ju's eyes were red while he anxiously ordered his sons. This second-grade medicine pellet is very precious. I heard that a lot of first-rate immortality elixirs were refined here. This lord is wondering if you can fill my loss with those. Ouyang Ju's blood is boiling. Mu Qian is completely robbing them all right. Ouyang Ju truly has some first-rate elixirs, but how did she also come to know this? At the same time, Ouyang Ji and Ouyang Xiang hated the fact that they are unable to tear off that brilliant smile from Mu Qian's face. More than a dozen of shops were already given to trade with her bottle of elixir and second-grade medicine pellet. Isn't that supposed to be enough? She still has the nerve to extort their Ouyang clan's elixirs. Not just the common ones but the immortality elixirs for the masters of the house. Mu Qian raised her eyebrow and said. What? Ouyang Lord doesn't agree. Then let Ouyang Wei continue to suffer then. Don't you dare put the blame on me when she's dead. It wasn't me who gave up on her treatment, it was you. Hey guys. I'm back. Sorry for the lack of updates, as I've said in the previous chapters. I'm super busy with my work and that is due to the upcoming new year. I'll resume the daily update after February 5. By the way, the Ouyang siblings are such an idiot. The second-grade medicine pellet has a high price in the auction. If I remember correctly, it's in between 1 to 2 million gold taels or something. So it's only fair for Mu Qian to ask more. Ha ha ha. Screw them more MQX. Young Yusei has no chast. Tai left to protect. Ouyang Wei continued to move uncontrollably, as if she wanted to break her bones. Ouyang Ju couldn't stand it no more, he said to Mu Qian. Fine. I promise you. He then ordered the servants outside. Come and bring out all of the elixirs here. Seeing the batches of elixirs brought out, Mu Qian's smile is becoming more radiant. Afterwards, Mu Qian took out dark pill and went to Ouyang Wei's bedside. She said, Ouyang Lord, this pill is for your daughter. Hold her mouth and feed it to her immediately. Ouyang Ju quickly lifted Ouyang Wei to help her swallow the medicine pellet. Ouyang Wei finally stopped. Ouyang Ju nervously looked at his daughter. At the same time, Ouyang Ji exclaimed. Father, look! Ouyang Wei's rotten flesh is turning into white skin at a visible speed. Ouyang Ju looked surprised. It was truly effective. Not only Mu Fengyun is a legendary figure but also the medicines he left for Mu Qian seems magical as well. Mu Qian made a clap and said. Ouyang Lord, since the eldest miss is all right. I can go now. But Ouyang Ji stopped her. Wei Wei isn't awake yet, you can't go unless we're sure if she's actually okay. Ugh. In a while, Ouyang Wei woke up. Ouyang Wei looked around and saw familiar faces. She shouted. Father, eldest brother, second brother. It's you. Mu Qian Shi. Ouyang Wei's mind is in chaos, like a frightened rabbit, she curled up her body upon seeing Mu Qian. She remembers how miserable her state was after her fight with Mu Qian Shi. Mu Qian said. If the Ouyang Lord is still worried, you can call a pharmacist to check her body. A pharmacist from the Ouyang's residence came to check on Ouyang Wei and informed the Ouyang Ju that the eldest Miss body is very healthy and nothing is wrong anymore. Mu Qian's medicines are amazing. Ouyang Ju's expression was strange, he said. Lord Mu must also be tired today. Don't go and stay as our guest here for the whole night. You can leave tomorrow morning instead. Ouyang-ju doesn't want Mu Qian to leave with all his stuffs. Since Wei'er is alright, he must find a way to get it all back. Mu Qian smiled. It's getting late. My little uncle said that if I hadn't got home by midnight he would come over to the Ouyang's residence to fetch me. My little uncle has limited mobility. It's quite troublesome for the both of us, so I will just go home. Ouyang-ju's face is heavy, Mu Qian deliberately making a threat. Does Mu Qian really think that Mu Wushuang, who is at the peak of 9th stage martial king, has nothing to fear? Did she forget that there are still people outside the kingdom who can topple mountains and overturn seas? This time, Yuzhe also said. Ouyang Lord, Yuzhe too has to go home now. If I come home a bit later than this, I'm afraid my old man would gather his 3,000 troops to pay a visit on the Ouyang's residence. Ouyang-ju can feel the veins in his forehead are bulging. How can he forget this young man? Yuzhe is the eldest son of General Yu. He is also the little brother of Mu Qian-shi, and apparently he is so obedient to follow her every orders. The Yu clan has the direct control of an army, and all of them fought valiantly in wars. If those soldiers raided the Ouyang's residence, the Ouyang clan would be the one to suffer the most. Ouyang-ju gave a far-fetched laughter. You both have to go then, I guess. Although Ouyang-ju is not reconciled and his heart is bleeding, he can't keep them here nor get back his losses. Even if he has other ways to block Mu Wushuang, but against 3,000 troops, Ouyang-ju is afraid that his clan would be destroyed and will be miserable in the end. Ouyang Lord must take good care of your daughter first, no need to escort us out. We both know the way back. Mu Qian waved her hand and went away with Yuzhe. Mu Qian and Yuzhe walked out of the Ouyang's residence. Suddenly a hearty laugh came out. Yuzhe, your leader sure earned a lot today. When the moment comes, I will definitely reward you with the best drinks and foods. I'll even let you choose a courtesan for yourself. What do you prefer? A slender beauty, or perhaps you want the beauty with a huge rack? Ha ha. Leader. Please stop. Yuzhe helplessly shouted. Then we'll go eat to our heart's content today. Go pick the foods you want to eat. Ouyang-ju and other people are still standing outside, and Mu Qian's words still said into their ears even though she is far away. The father and sons, these three people cursed Mu Qian-shi in their hearts. Mu Qian-shi, this is not the end. Don't get excited too soon. On the way home, Mu Qian asked. Yuzhe, may I ask you one thing? I know the Yu clan is known for their loyalty and righteousness. I'm positive that without you and General Yu's army, Ouyang-ju wouldn't let us out easily like this. I feel like I've involved you with my disputes too much. She stopped walking and said. Yuzhe, do you regret following me? Yuzhe's gaze turned away from Mu Qian. As he looked at the moon, he said. We always keep our promises, since that is our Yu clan's oath. No matter how dangerous, I will continue to follow you. He looked straight at Mu Qian's eyes. Besides, leader, you are so strong and the bad luck is always against you. Yuzhe evoked a carefree smile. Mu Qian laughed. You are really getting more and more adorable. Don't go back to your house today, come home with me. Let's go do something fun. Yuzhe silently said in his heart. Leader, just say what you want to do. Please don't let people misunderstand, okay? But Mu Qian is staying quiet and had no plan to tell Yuzhe anything more. Meanwhile, Yu Su rushed to the general's study, he said. Father. I mean old man. Not good. Not good. Big brother did not come home last night. It seems that big brother's chast. Tai is lost. Thawed. General, you dropped the book he's holding. What are you talking about? Brother, he. General Yu knocked Yu Su's head. You don't know what you're thinking about. You only know how to make a mess every day. Don't tell me you've forgotten what did Lord Mu said on the palace. Her criteria for a husband. Yu Su bowed his head. Ouch. That hurts. I remember all right. First, there can be no other woman. I grew up with Big Brother and I know that he never touched a woman's hand. Second, he must be stronger than her. Brother already lost to Lord Mu, so doesn't meet the requirements to be her husband. Yu Su felt disappointed as he said this. Mu Jia's lord is great. She's beautiful, rich and powerful as well. If someone like her would be his sister-in-law, it would be awesome. Since you know, then get out of here now. Yu Su ran outside quickly to escape. General Yu helplessly heaved a sigh. When Yu Zhe and Mu Qian went to the Ouyang's residence, General Yu already ordered some of his soldiers to wait outside. If only Yu Zhe agreed to be a soldier before, he wouldn't be involved in all of these complicated things. He grew up in an old-fashioned way and now his future is getting shorter and narrower. Yu Zhe, my son. I hope you won't get caught up in it. Mu Qian, she is the daughter of a dragon among men, like him she is bound with the fate of a phoenix. My stupid son, I'm afraid. Descendants are descendants, General Yu didn't think too much. If what his younger son said is true, then that will really bring delight and satisfaction to the Yu family. Ah! Groan. Wait. Ugh. A burst of M.U.F. fled voices was heard inside one of the rooms in the Mu Jia's lord's courtyard. Letting the servants' imagination roam and their faces flushed. At long last, the Lord has chosen a partner and perhaps they will soon have a little master to serve. Wow. As in woo. Degree. I need Jiu Ye's reaction on this bwahahaha. Jiu Ye's intent to kill. The truth is like this, upon coming back with Mu Qian, she immediately started to spar with Yu Zhe. Afterwards, Yu Zhe's body that is filled with bruises was thrown into Mu Qian's newly made medicinal bath. The pain he felt made him scream throughout the night. Later, a rumor about Mu Jia's lord appeared. Mu Qian, she has a tendency to abuse people. These people can't help but feel a cold sweat for the Yu clan's eldest son. Yu Zhe's life with Mu Qian she will not be so easy. The next day, Mu Qian asked. Yu Zhe, did you sleep well last night? At this time, Yu Zhe has dark circles under his eyes. He felt that the meridians in his body are 3 to 4 times better than before. And the most shocking thing was he advanced to the peak of 6th stage of Spirit Warrior in just one night. I'm alright, fortunately. He could barely finish his sentence. It's already a miracle that Yu Zhe made it throughout the night. Even though the result is good, the pain he felt that evening was definitely not the kind of thing you wanted to experience the second time again. Leader, look, I've made it to the peak of the 6th stage Spirit Warrior. I can break through to the 7th stage in the near future. But you can do that now. Yu Zhe could not believe what he just heard. Even if Yu Zhe is highly talented, in order to break through, he must at least continue to practice for half a year. But the boss actually said he can break through now. Here, I have 2 medicines on me, take your pick. Mu Qian took out 2 bottles of elixirs. These are. This bottle on my left has 2nd-grade medicinal pellet while the other one has an elixir that has the same effect with a 3rd-grade medicinal pellet. Both can help you break through without any repercussions. Yu Zhe is stunned, 2nd-grade medicinal pellet. Elixir that can be sold with the same amount of a city. Mu Qian actually took out both of it and even let him pick in between so casually like this. Mu Qian said. Take your time on choosing, I'll go first. Mu Qian took out another bottle and gulped down its contents immediately. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth suddenly came rushing inside Mu Qian's body. Yuzhe was amazed by the effects of the medicines she brought. Yuzhe picked up the second-grade medicinal pellet and swallowed it. Suddenly, a majestic force filled his meridians. He sensed that he was about to break through to the 7th stage this instant. The bones on his body is creaking. Yuzhe felt his strength has reached its peak. There was a glimmer of light in his dark eyes. The 7th stage spirit warrior. He never thought that he can break through a level this quick. Mu Qian opened her eyes. She also advanced through the 7th stage spirit warrior with so much ease. We have successfully advanced to the 7th stage. You should go home, Yuzhe, lest your family worry about you. Take this with you. These are all elixirs that can speed up your cultivation. Treat it like food. If you can't finish everything, you can give it away. While this is for healing. Mu Qian took out a bunch of elixirs and medicinal herbs to Yuzhe. Because of him, they are able to return without being hurt from the Ouyang's residence. He played a big role, so Mu Qian will not treat him badly. Yuzhe's eyes are big, he exclaimed. So much. Leader, this is too much. I can't accept all of these. Aren't these all expensive? Mu Qian rolled her eyes and said helplessly. It's not expensive. Did you forget the herbs that I've taken from the Imperial Palace and the Ouyang clan? Don't talk so much nonsense. Yuzhe, who learned that Mu Qian can really refine medicines, almost fainted from this heavy blow. If she can really refine a second-grade medicinal pellet, then she is already a mid-level alchemist. Is she still a human? Yuzhe, with cuts and bruises all over, left with a large heap of elixirs and medicinal pellets. When Yuzhe was gone, a gentle voice came over. Sheer. Mu Qian hastily went to Mu Wuxuang's side and said. Little uncle. The early morning is cold and strong, how come you are here? With Sheer's conditioning, my body has long been healthier than normal people. Where is the kid from the Yu clan? I've heard from someone that he will take you away. Mu Wuxuang's tone has a hint of resentment. He waited a long time for Mu Qian to return. If some kid abducted Mu Qian, not only he, but also his eldest brother and second brother would kill everyone in this kingdom. Mu Qian's mouth cannot help but twitch, she explained. Little uncle, don't listen to those baseless rumors. Yuzhe is my little brother. Mu Jia's force is thin, and in order to enhance our strength we need to borrow the strength of their family's army. Uncle understands. Mu Wuxuang let out a gentle smile. Mu Wuxuang held her hands and said. Sheer, don't overwork yourself. You still have me after all. Mu Qian shook her head and her heart felt warm. She smiled and said. Little uncle, don't worry. I just cleared all of their accounts from us. Mu Qian's dark eyes flashed a cold light. Besides, I only taught them some lessons. Those people who offended us will eventually get what they deserved. Mu Wuxuang smiled. Sheer, do what you want to do. I'm here, I won't let anyone touch even a strand of your hair. After Mu Wuxuang left, another guest ushered inside Mu Qian's room. The entire courtyard turned cold all of a sudden. Mu Qian opened the door and saw a familiar figure sitting in her chair. A peerless face, with 5 points of cold, 3 points of evil and 2 points of beauty. That pair of icy blue eyes are like a deep abyss, as if a human soul would be swallowed immediately. High nose and thin red lips, this person that is clear as ice and clean as jade can also frighten someone out of their wits. Just like a cold Ashura and a demon lord would. Jiu Yi, what are you doing here? His arrival really made Mu Qian feel very surprised. The Purple Moon Kingdom's evil star is really elusive. Jiu Yez looked straight at Mu Qian's eyes, he said coldly. Yuzhe, I want to kill him, what do you think? With Jiu Ye's killing intent, the temperature inside the room became lower. Mu Qian froze, she said. Yuzhe is my little brother, if he offended you in any way please spare his life. I know we can settle this peacefully. To kill a man without a fight is not what a gentleman like you would do. Mu Qian said all of this with a smile on her face. Mu Qian plans to bluff a way out for Yuzhe. To those people who died by Jiu Ye's hand, if they heard the words, gentle person, used for describing Jiu Ye, they will surely vomit blood even in the afterlife. The woman in front of him is not giving in, and one thing is for sure. He is absolutely not allowed to kill the man. Jiu Ye coldly said. He stayed here last night. And that's how Jiu Ye handles his jealousy. By killing each and one of them. Too bad he can't do it 'cause of MQX. Ha ha ha. Fluffy scenes will come after this chapter. Red heart. His touch feels nice. Mu Qian's mouth is twitching, she cursed Jiu Ye inside. Jiu Ye, are you out of your mind? Just because Yuzhe slept here last night, you're going to kill him. Fortunately, Yuzhe already left, else he wouldn't know how horrible his death will be today. If I remember correctly, you and him don't have any connection with each other, so why do you want to kill him? Mu Qian is bewildered by Jiu Ye's abrupt ideas. She finally understands why the citizens of the Purple Moon Kingdom are so afraid of the Night Prince. It isn't because of how he kills someone without batting an eye, but because the reason he kills someone is totally unpredictable. Perhaps it's a common thing, that when the Night Prince looked at someone he would kill him immediately. He's so strong, if Jiu Ye wanted to kill somebody no one could stop him, and in the end they can only cry out their grievances in the underworld. Jiu Ye, who is silent for a while, slowly spoke. You're my roommate. That is just at the academy, this is my home. Mu Qian is going to blow up, what strange reason he has. This gentleman only wants him to die, that's all, Jiu Ye coldly said. Mu Qian felt that there was an obstacle when she tries to communicate with His Highness, the Night Prince, and since that is the case she would gladly break it. Just tell me directly, how can I make you change this blood wife thought of yours? Mu Qian asked politely. Go to my place and live there. Jiu Ye did not leave Mu Qian any choice. Mu Qian didn't have a chance to answer. Her body fell straight into a cold embrace. Then the whole person had floated to the air and instantly disappeared. He didn't even give her the time to reject. When the both of them arrived at the Night Palace, he asked. What is he doing at your home? Mu Qian said. Nothing special, we just played against each other and exchanged blows till morning's up, that's all. Come with me, I'll help you practice. Jiu Ye said. Mu Qian froze, she quickly said. Jiu Ye, aren't you mistaken? You want to spar with me? Are you sure you won't abuse me? I won't use any spiritual power, besides I see no difference even if you use your spiritual power or not. Mu Qian's mouth twitched. Jiu Ye grabbed Mu Qian's hand. You can't refuse. Mu Qian nodded. I won't. In fact, I know having a stronger opponent can bring out a lot of my potential. But please remember to show some mercy. You're the woman I am protecting, I definitely won't hurt you. Jiu Ye assured Mu Qian. TN, they are still holding hands lol. The next day, Jiu Ye took Mu Qian to practice. The strength of Jiu Ye was truly outrageous. Even if he did not use any spiritual power to fight with her, he never gave Mu Qian a chance to strike him at all. Added with the fact that he deliberately suppresses his strength to minimum and also made his speed in the slowest. At this time, Mu Qian was very clear. When she first met Jiu Ye and fought with him, not even 1/10 of his true power was used. Clash! A purple and black figure staggered. Countless needles with poison were flying down towards Jiu Ye's direction, but he blocked all of it easily. Mu Qian moved her body to the side and once again launched another needles attack. Mu Qian was getting closer to his side and tried to attack him more closely. Her body's movement was extremely fast. The two people played 100 rounds. Thawed. Mu Qian was too tired that she almost fell into the ground but was caught by Jiu Yi instead. At the same time he also seized a very inappropriate place, which made Mu Qian stunned. Mu Qian was full of killing intent. Jiu Yi, I really want to chop off your hands. She lifted her feet and directly kicked Jiu Yi. The impact made the hairpin that holds Jiu Yi hair loose. His long silky black hair sways gently against the wind. Jiu Yi said. Good kick. He finished speaking as if he doesn't remember what he has done wrong. Mu Qian's whole face flushed. She shouted. Jiu Yi, you're shameless. It doesn't show on her face, but she's really angry. Jiu Yi, this guy looks cold and indifferent but just like other men, he too is just a two-faced beast. At this time, Mu Qian locked her sights to Jiu Yi. She hates how she is unable to cut this man into 1,000 pieces. Mu Qian concentrated all her spiritual powers and attacked Jiu Yi relentlessly due to the resentment she's feeling right now. Water break. Icicles rain. Water dragon. Boom. Different water element attacks rushed towards Jiu Yi's direction. But Jiu Yi did not hide nor block the attacks coming for him. Let it all fall down on his body. For a moment, Jiu Yi looks like a person who is drenched and bedraggled. And a drip of translucent blood drips from his forehead. Even in this difficult situation, he can still warm the heart and delight the eyes of people with his sorry look. Jiu Yi asked. Did you calm yourself now? Mu Qian's eyes are wide open, she shouted. Did you think I would forgive you if you didn't dodge? Mu Qian's hand was grabbed by Jiu Yi, he said. Although our bodies are different. Here, you can also touch me if you must. Jiu Yi bowed his head and looked at Mu Qian's collarbone. Mu Qian almost fell from his nonsense, she said. You're a man. Of course we're different. What is there for me to touch? Are you out of your mind? Really didn't know, this is the first time. Jiu Yi honestly said, Tian, starting from here he addressed himself as a ruler, instead of prince. Mu Qian took a deep breath, this guy is not lying. He doesn't even know what the difference of a man and a woman is. In Mu Qian's mind she thought that the only difference he knows is when a person is dead or not. She felt embarrassed and guilty by her actions, she said. Today's practice ends now, I'm going back to rest first. Wait. You have some bruises, I'll give you medicine. Jiu Yi walked straight forward and pulled Mu Qian inside one of the rooms. Mu Qian said. This is unnecessary, isn't it you who needed medical attention first? Jiu Yi said. You are physically exhausted today, don't refuse. A pair of slender hands gently grabbed Mu Qian's ankles, the cold temperature of his skin made her jolt. She stuttered. Stop. You don't have to do this thing. Just find a maid tomorrow. Sage my shoulders and legs and I'll be fine again for tomorrow. Aside from me, there's also housekeeper Bai who is human in this palace. He's not here, so is the only one who can do it for you. Jiu Yi's hands gently sage her legs that made Mu Qian let out fled hum. Jiu Yi. Mu Qian wanted to break free but Jiu Yi didn't let go of her leg. After a while, Jiu Yi's hand fell on her shoulder. Have to say Jiu Yi's approach is very wonderful, let her whole body relax like a soft bone. Well? Jiu Yi asked. Is it comfortable? Yes, very. After a round of sage, Jiu Yi's elegant hands stopped. He slowly spit out the 4 words. Tomorrow, we will continue. Their practice continued for days and Jiu Yi's sage skill is progressing every night. Mu Qian's life in the Night Palace sure is blissful. She can eat delicious foods, sleep whenever she wants, and most of all, she has a beautiful man who gives her ma's sages every night. These things made her incredibly happy. One night, a shadow who couldn't get pa's through the Night Palace delivered news to Mu Qian through a letter instead. The contents are: Lord, not good. Something's wrong at the Mu Jia. Sorry for the late updates. Just busy with real-life duties. Also find a guy who can give you ma's sages like Jiu Yi does. Dressing him up. Mu Qian then asked housekeeper Bai to let her shadow come inside the Night Palace. Mu Qian asked, "What's going on? Say it." The shadow quickly reported. Although the Lord is the one who's in charge of the Mu Jia's properties, the elders are using your absence as an excuse to take back all your rights. All businesses under your name have been seized by the elders. Mu Qian slightly evoked a smile, she said. Finally, these old badgers showed their true colors. It seems they colluded with each other to stop me. TSK, they really are full of themselves. Mu Qian went to find Jiu Yi. She wanted to tell him that she is going back today personally. Housekeeper Bai said, "Miss Mu, are you looking for young master? He's inside, you can go in." When Mu Qian opened the door, she could not help but curse housekeeper Bai internally. He should not be named Bai, but He instead. She should find a pit for housekeeper He to kill him immediately. Tn, Bai equals white, He equals black. Upon opening the door, Mu Qian saw the cold Ashura prince who seems to be in the middle of changing his clothes. With only his pants, the upper part of his body is totally exposed from Mu Qian's eyes. The perfect line on his lower abdominals and every structure of his body are unprepossessing at first glance. How good is her luck to witness such scene. Mu Qian felt that a floating group of animals are running in circles in her head. Mu Qian hastily said, "I didn't see anything. Take your time, I'll disturb you later." Bye. Ha. An indifferent voice was heard, and at the same time Jiu Yi came out. A dark robe was wrapped on Jiu Yi's body. His beautiful appearance can make the world lose its color. Mu Qian regained her composure, smiled and said, "There is something I must need to do at the Mu Jia's. Thank you for your hospitality these days." The beautiful icy blue eyes of Jiu Yi was locked on Mu Qian for a while. Afterwards Mu Qian's waist was caught by one of Jiu Yi's arms. Jiu Yi slowly moved his lips to Mu Qian's ears. He asked, "You still haven't done anything for me, yet you wanted to leave?" Mu Qian asked, "What do you want?" "This lord had nothing to give you at this moment. How about you help me put on my clothes?" With a wave of his hand, a dark brocade robe fell. Jiu Yi then handed the robe to Mu Qian's hands. Mu Qian looked at the robe in her hands in bewilderment and said in a loud voice, "I haven't tried helping someone to get dressed before. Even my little uncle. The first time." "Good." Jiu Yi said some baffling words and forcibly put the clothes in Mu Qian's hands. Mu Qian is already used on Jiu Yi's weird moods. She's very clear that if she refused to help him put on his clothes, Jiu Yi won't let her go back today no matter what. Mu Qian neatly picked up the clothes and helped Jiu Yi earnestly. Her first time helping someone get dressed isn't so bad like she imagined. Mu Qian looked at Jiu Yi and secretly told herself, "Jiu Yi without clothes on can make a person commit a crime." On the other hand, Jiu Yi, who always wore dark robes added with his cold demeanor, looks like a cold Ashura instead. This guy is a complete disaster. Mu Qian finished on helping him, she said. "Jiu Yi, we're done right, can I now go?" Mu Qian, who was about to turn around and run away, was held back by Jiu Ye's arms again. He said, "I'll send you back. He was the one who brought her here. Of course he's also the one who will bring her back." Mu Qian originally thought that with Jiu Ye's speed, in just a few minutes they will arrive at the Mu Jia's residence. But reality always betrays. Jiu Ye's speed is slower than a tortoise. The scenery on the road looks like a movie played in slow motion. Mu Qian was so bored that she couldn't help but yawn. A whole afternoon passed, said, when they arrived at the gates. Only then did Jiu Yi put Mu Qian down. He said, "If you ever wanted to come in my palace again, you're welcome to stay anytime." Jiu Yi did not wait for Mu Qian's answer. He instantly disappeared, leaving no shadow behind. He's a little overbearing, but Mu Qian felt that Jiu Yi isn't that bad at all. If Mu Qian refused, with his strength alone, he can confine her in the knight's palace, yet he didn't do it. Before going back, Mu Qian planned a lot of countermeasures for the elders. Their old tricks and crafty plots, as she will overthrow it all. "Come. Hear my orders, all the Mu Jia's businesses will stop operating starting today." As soon as the news came out, everyone was shocked. Had Mu Qian finally lost her mind? Does she want to end the Mu Jia's future? You don't know anything. Even if Mu Qian decided to stop all the industries, she could still live lavishly with only her dowry alone. That's the reason why she doesn't care. Poor Mu Jia, our whole clan will end with her own hands. The elders muttered to themselves. Originally they wanted to see how will Mu Qian react by seizing every property and making a mess on each of it. But never did they think that she would just put all the industries to stop from operating. This is 100 times worse compared on what they've done. In addition to the suspension of each business, Mu Qian also fired every shopkeeper on the same day. The elders all decided to call the lord of the house to talk, else the whole Mu Jia would fall. For the past few days, even a shadow of her can't be seen. That's why no matter what she say or explain, they won't back down on this matter. 7 days have passed, said. Mu Qian went to find Yuzhe, she said. "Here, take this. This book contains all the details on the replanning for all of the Mu Jia's properties. I based it on my father's design and also added some ideas from the Ouyang's. There is also the list of people my father trusted. If you can't find them all, you can directly ask for my shadow's help." She closed the shops not because she had given up on it, but for the reason that the way the elders managed it before are all of no use. She used all those days to create this plan. Mu Qian asked, "Yuzhe, I'm counting on you. Don't worry, leader. I won't let you down." "Good. I'll leave it all to you. I will continue on refining medicines. If someone came looking for me, tell them I'm busy." Mu Qian laughed while walking away. Refining medicines is her main business. The money she made from those is much more compared to the shops her father left for her. Mu Qian continued to refine medicines for a whole month. No matter what the situation is outside, none of it affects her. But the whole life of the citizens of the Purple Moon Kingdom changed dramatically, especially those who live in the Qixing Street. Shops with excellent quality of silk fabrics, different embroidered dresses, rouges, teas that can help promote one's skin and everything a woman can think of are all here. The restaurants are also popular, the inns are always filled with guests and the tea house is always full. But the most popular shop of all is the Ghost Doctor's building. The news about the alchemist that made the groundbreaking elixirs from the auction before resides here. He sells different kinds of elixirs and second-grade medicinal pellets every day. The effects of these elixirs are better than ordinary second-grade medicinal pellets, and people are well aware of the effects that it can bring to them. The price of each medicine is high, yet every day the elixirs and medicinal pellets are sold out. And the place is brimmed with people from different places. Yuzhe looked at the lively street of Qixing. All of these are the result of the leader's brilliant idea. He couldn't help but feel proud of this great success. Mu Jia is about to rise to the top once again. Perhaps, Mu Qian would surpass as her father and also become a legend. After a while, a young servant suddenly ran over and shouted. Young master. Not good. Not good. Hey guys, sorry for another long delay. I just want to rant. I deleted some mean comments last week. It's about how I translate this novel. First of all, I admit that I'm not a native English speaker and I also don't understand Chinese either. I translate this novel using MTL, okay? I already explained myself in novel updates that there's bound to be mistakes somewhere. I know that the quality is bad sometimes, but please be gentle with your words. I'm only human, okay? I am hurt too. Yeah, so if some of you think that this is horrible to read, then don't read it, okay? I don't care. I'm only new in translating and I really like this story, but because of some people's words, I kinda lost my motivation to continue until today. Hope I won't see another comment like that after this. I am really thankful for those people who appreciates my efforts. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have stopped this already. So yeah, thank you, Red Heart. Beat the hell out of him. Yuze's eyes flashed a cold light after listening to the servant's report. He shouted. How dare Ouyang Xiang make a mess inside the ghost doctor's building? Is he tired of living already? Let's go. A blue figure flashed. Yuze swiftly moved towards the ghost doctor's building direction. Smash! Sound of porcelains breaking filled the room. Give it to me. Give it all to me. This shop is full of fraud products. It's better to smash it all to pieces. Ouyang Xiang stands at the front door, directing a group of strange men to wreck the whole ghost doctor's building. This place is originally a part of their Ouyang's properties. Ouyang Xiang thought that Mu Qian she would never manage it properly due to her ignorance regarding on business matters. But with only a month, the ghost doctor's building became the most famous pharmacy in the whole Purple Moon Kingdom. If this continues on, the other pharmacies, including theirs, would bankrupt soon. Their Ouyang clan can't even make ends meet for this month. Even Ouyang Xiang's pocket money had shrunk so badly, which made him mad enough to bring a lot of people to bring trouble on the ghost doctor's building to quench his anger. Yuze coldly said. Ouyang Xiang. Stop this instant. Ouyang Xiang furiously yelled. Yuze, who do you think you are? Even dare to order this young master around? At the same time, another cold voice came. What if it was the master who told you to stop? Leader. There was a glimmer of light in the eyes of Yuze. Lord Mu. The servants bowed on her arrival, even the people who came for the medicines greeted her respectfully. Everyone was entranced on the purple figure that is slowly walking towards the front of the ghost doctor's building. Mu Qianxi's beauty is like straight out of a painting. With her graceful bearing, it made them see an illusion that a lotus flower is blooming on her every step. For the whole month, Mu Qian did not come out. She wanted to check the results of her business plan, but she saw something absurd instead. Ouyang Xiang continued his domineering act. He shouted. A waste like you have no knowledge about business. I'm pretty sure the products you're selling here are all fakes. Since that is the case, I'll crash this whole place down and no one can stop me. Especially you. Mu Qianxi. Mu Qian eyes are filled with mirth. She smirked. Ouyang Xiang, if you dare break another bottle again, I'm afraid that even if you sell yourself, it won't reach the amount you owed me today. Ouyang Xiang laughed out loud. He said. This young master won't pay you a single copper. You're just a waste. What can you even do to me? Ouyang Xiang is always bold due to his father's support. What more, the men he gathered today are all martial masters from his father's army. The person working in this shop is clearly no match for his soldiers. Who said it's going to be me? In Mu Qian's eyes, a cold light flashes. Shadows. Throw out all these troublemakers from my shop. The shadows instantly appeared in front of Mu Qian and followed her order. Yu Zhe also made his move. Bang! 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 Two different groups of people fought in the streets, Ouyang said. Mu Qian Shi. Your people are no match to me. You want to get rid of me? In your dreams. Ha ha ha. Mu Qian let out a treacherous smile. She asked. Ouyang, do you really think you have more people than me? Mu Qian looked around and shouted. To everyone present here, hear my words. To anyone who can land a successful hit on Ouyang, I will give him an elixir for free. If your hits reached a dozen, this lord will gladly give you a second-grade medicinal pellet. Most of the people watching are here to buy medicines from the ghost doctor's building. Even if the amount of each elixir is high, it is still affordable for the most of them, but for the rare second-grade medicinal pellets they could do anything just to get one. The Mu Jia's lord is so generous today. If they could land a dozen hits successfully, they can go back home with a precious medicine in hand. What luck! Even if the Ouyang clan retaliates against them after this, they can still flee with a few immortality elixirs and live outside the kingdom with ease. Mu Qian's words were like a signal of starting a war. The people didn't hesitate and quickly rushed towards Ouyang's direction. No one wants to be left behind. The guards' faces turned pale. Quick! Protect the young master no matter what. Fuck. These people dare to beat our second young master. Are they tired of living already? Hundreds of people besieged Ouyang. The whole scene in the streets became chaotic for a moment. Yu Zhe's opponent at this time rushed towards Ouyang's direction to aid on his protection, leaving Yu Zhe in a daze with the sudden changes. Mu Qian said. Yu Zhe, don't fight. Come here and count instead. Yu Zhe's mouth twitched, he nodded and said. Fine. The scene is getting more chaotic at each passing second. Ouyang's guards truly wanted to protect him, but they are powerless to do so. With the amount of people swarming towards Ouyang, the guards can't keep their stance at all. In addition, the shadows of Mu Jia's lord are constantly attacking them, thus making it more difficult to get near Ouyang. Ah! Ouyang screamed. Ouyang's strength isn't as high as his elder brother and sister does. He is only a 4th-stage martial warrior. With so many people besieging him, there's no way he can defend himself. He can only let them beat him. Boom! Pow! 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 Ah! These people are not playing around. Not only did they punch Ouyang many times, but they also kicked the shit out of him. These are all for the promised elixirs and second-grade medicinal pellets. More hits, more chances of winning. Ha ha ha. These people believe that Mu Qian she won't go back on her words, especially for the reason that the famous ghost doctor's building belongs to her. Cough. Ouyang, who's being played at this moment, coughed out a lot of blood. Mu Qian discovered a strange man among the group. That strange man wore an old funeral robe that is clearly for a woman. He also wears a wooden cyan mask that covers his whole face. The other people who knew Ouyang tried to suppress their strength and only hit him mildly as to not incur the Ouyang clan's wrath. But this guy tried to beat Ouyang to death. Ouyang crawled out as if he was close to dying. Mu Qian then said. That's enough. To those people who have done well, you can start lining up here. This lord will now bestow your rewards. One by one, these people receive different kinds of immortality elixirs that is equivalent to their hits to Ouyang Xiang earlier. All of them are happy and thankful. Lord Mu is so generous. These rewards are truly worth it. I have no regrets. As for the rare second-grade medicinal pellets, they did not beg for it because they think they aren't worthy enough for it. At the same time, these people took a glance to the young man with a mask. He was the only one who hit Ouyang Xiang so hard. Isn't he afraid of the Ouyang clan's revenge? After receiving their respective rewards, these people started to run away. At the same time, Ouyang Xiang's mouth has started to foam. Boom! A brutal punch landed on Ouyang Xiang. His body had fallen directly into the ground and the area around him was also crushed due to the impact, and it was none other than the young man with a mask who did it easily. Mu Qian waved her hand and said, "Brother, that last hit will suffice. Come here and get your rewards." Altogether, the young man received 60 first-grade medicinal pellets and 1 second-grade pellets. But that's not the most amazing part. The moment the pills were handed to the young man, he swallowed all of it immediately. The crowd suddenly panicked. That man is crazy. He swallowed so much medicinal pellets, his body would surely explode any moment now. He even swallowed the second-grade medicinal pellet. What a waste! Contrary to the crowd's belief, the young man didn't explode. Mu Qianxi, the ghost doctor, also felt that something is strange, but when she was about to question him, the young man disappeared. The shadows are also finished. Ouyang Xiang's guards are all tossed at the side of the street. Mu Qian then gave an order. "Take these fools back to the Mujia. When Yuzhe finished listing all the debts they've made, send them back to the Ouyang clan. Make sure to collect all their debts before coming back." "Yes, my lord." Lord, the young man didn't leave. He's still in the Purple Moon Kingdom. A shadow came in to report. Everyone aside from Mu Qian's summed that the young man fled for his life because of what he had done to the Ouyang second young master. But clearly that's not the case. The young man doesn't have the intention to leave despite all that have happened after all. Ouyang Xiang is the real idiot here. Now, after this, his whole clan won't even have a single penny left due to his debts. Ha ha ha. XD. Meet face to face on a narrow path. Mu Qian asked. "Is there any movements from the Ouyang clan?" The shadow nodded. The Ouyang lord sent some of his men to go after the masked man. Mu Qian got up and walked over to where Yuzhe was. She said, "Gather the others. We will follow those men sent by the Ouyang lord." To be able to eat 60 first-grade medicinal pills and 1 second-grade medicinal pill without any after effects surely isn't an ordinary man. Mu Qian's interest was piqued. She won't let the Ouyang clan kill that man easily. When Mu Qian and the others arrived at their destination, what welcomed them was the strong smell of blood. Clash! The masked man was like a killing machine. Whenever someone gets close to him, they will instantly cough up blood. He did not need to use any weapons. A slight turn of his hand is able to pinch off the other person's throat. With such a simple and crude technique, he has killed dozens of people. "Lord, step back." The shadows hastily kept Mu Qian from going in front. This is the first time they've witnessed such horrendous act of murder, as if the person is devoid of any emotions. Mu Qian asked Ah Ting in secret. "Did you find out anything about him?" "I don't sense any life nor feel any qi on this masked man. It seems that he's only using his physical strength to kill those men." Ah Ting was also puzzled by his discovery. Mu Qian's face was aghast. "Are you sure? Is it even possible?" Mu Qian suddenly laughed. "It seems that I really need to learn more about this world. Today's events may not help me at all, but at least it let me saw something different." Thawed. Ouyang Ju's soldiers fall down one by one. Whether the opponent is a martial master or spirit master, all of them were defeated easily by the masked man. Let's attack him all together. The remaining soldiers decided to strike the masked man with their strongest attack as their last resort. Boom! A loud explosion happened. Crash! They saw the figure of the masked man fell hard on the ground. A soldier from the Ouyang clan laughed. Finally, he's dead. This lad must have been split into pieces. Lord, this. Mu Qian felt that all of these are too strange. The other party was certainly on the upper hand earlier. Yet here he was lying on the ground like a dead man. Isn't it all too sudden? Mu Qian had come here a reason. Naturally she won't let that masked man die. Stop. A cold voice came which made the Ouyang soldiers stop their movements. In their eyes, a woman in purple dress approached. They said in consternation, Lord Mu. This man is a part of your clan. The soldiers all glared at her. Mu Qian let out a playful smile. Oh ho! Since you already said that he's a family member of mine, why are you all still here? Did you all forget that the first one who sent people to disturb my shop was one of your masters? Now, get the HELL out of here. You finally admitted to your crime. This man dared to strike our second young master not because of his own volition but because of your order. A maniacal laughter came. Ouyang Shilong and another group of soldiers suddenly appeared. On his side is the second young master of the Ouyang clan, Ouyang Xiang, who recovered some of his strength due to some pill he brought for himself. Swish! Mu Qian's shadows also appeared behind her. The Ouyang's forces for today aren't small and their strength can't be underestimated either. Every day, the shadows eat medicinal pellets and drink precious elixirs similar to drinking water. The HELL training they've been into was a great way to raise their strengths. If they still lose against the Ouyang soldiers like before, they can directly go find a wall to kill themselves then. Ouyang Shilong snorted, he said. Lord Mu, do you really think you can bully the Ouyang clan now? Mu Qian innocently asked. Ouyang Shilong, which eyes of yours saw me bullying one of your members? Didn't you know that Ouyang Xiang was beaten by the people and not me? As for the reason why I am here, I just happened to pass by, that's all. Ouyang Shilong looks mad, he cursed Mu Qian inside. Sure, it wasn't your people who beaten Ouyang Xiang, but it was clearly you who instigated them. In the middle of the night and in such a remote street, who would believe her? Ouyang Shilong can't hold his anger anymore, he shouted. Lord Mu, since you claim to pass by here accidentally, let me tell you this. The fact that my Axener ended up as a waste was entirely because of you. I'll settle this debt of yours tonight. Ouyang Axean, who was the fourth in the overall ranking in the lower CLA. Lost to me, who was once a waste. Say, as a father of a waste like him, isn't it just right to call you a waste too? After reaching Martial Master, you only rose your strength by 2 stages after all these years. Do you really think you have what it takes to get your revenge on me? Ouyang Shilong exploded. Mu Qian Shi. How dare you? Mu Qian Shi, who is still underage, reached the 7th stage Spirit Warrior. Whereas you, who was a Martial Master at 20, is still at the 2nd stage Martial Master at the age of 56. Isn't it obvious who is the waste between us two? Mu Qian taunted. Not all people are like you, who eats precious medicinal pellets the same as a jelly bean. Although he worked for the royal family, Ouyang Shilong's status in the Ouyang clan isn't high. It is considered as a good luck for him if the Ouyang Lord would bestow him a first-grade medicine pellet once a year. Mu Qian said. Even if the Ouyang Lord sent you, I won't let you take away this man. But for your revenge, how about I give you a chance? Let's fight. Since you wanted to get revenge for that waste son of yours, I will let you prove your worth. Mu-Yi and the rest of the shadows shouted. Lord! They know that their lord is very powerful, but the strength of Ouyang Shilong is in a whole different level than hers. Even Ouyang Shilong felt a little bit weird by Mu Qian's courage. She's only in the warrior level, yet she's so bold to ask for a fight. Mu Qian must have thought that since she beat Wei, whose strength is higher than her by 2 stages, she can also defeat Ouyang Shilong too. How naive. Ouyang Shilong really wanted to kill Mu Qian on the spot, but this is not the right time to do so. This kind of thing is not for him to decide. Ouyang Shilong looked at Ouyang Xiang. Second young master. Ouyang Xiang coldly stared at Mu Qianxi. When he saw that treacherous smile of hers again, he felt that she would never agree to a fight she could never win. Perhaps as she already made a trap for the both of them. Ouyang Xiang said. Mu Qianxi, don't think that I didn't know you still have that third-rank beast. Even if my uncle's strength is higher than you, as long as you send out that beast, Ouyang Shilong would still die in the end if that happened. Mu Qian yawned. Are you done talking? My little cat is sleeping, and for this fight, I don't need him. Mu Qian looked at Ouyang Shilong. She asked. Don't tell me you're running from this fight. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? TSK, you're really a waste, aren't you? Ouyang Shilong was furious. He yelled. Who are you calling a waste? D-A-M-N. Do you think I'm afraid of you? He looked at Ouyang Xiang and said. Young master, let me teach this girl a lesson today. I promise I won't take her life. I will let her know what true pain is. Ouyang Xiang waved his hand. Good. Then go. Even if something happens to Ouyang Shilong, the Ouyang clan would only lose a man with insignificant role. Their fight will buy Ouyang Xiang enough time to make an ambush for Mu Qian later. Ouyang Xiang's eyes flashed a cold light. He said in his heart. Mu Qian, she overestimated her shadow's capability. For sure, this bunch of fools won't even kill a single person from our army. These men are all martial masters. I could just sit back and watch as they try to escape their death today. Ouyang Shilong stood out. He laughed. Exener. Your father will personally avenge you. Every pain you've suffered, I will give them back to Mu Qianxi 100 more times. I wish someone could punch the spoiled Ouyang Xiang more. He need more spanking if you ask me. Now they will learn. Boom. Ouyang Shilong unleashed his full strength and rushed forth towards Mu Qian's direction. Mu Qianxi. You're too arrogant. I will let you know how big our gap in strength is. Ouyang Shilong suddenly attacked. But what baffled him is that his sword hit nothing. He was sure that he had cut her into 2 when he made that attack. Where did it go wrong? He mused. Mu Qian didn't hesitate to fight back. She launched an attack towards Ouyang Shilong while he's still confused. Water charge. Boom. Being a person who can use elements certainly has its own advantages. Mu Qian let out a surprise attack. Ouyang Shilong can only rely on his strength, which is in the 2nd stage martial master, to resist. An explosion forced Ouyang Shilong to take a few steps back. Although he successfully blocked Mu Qian's attack, his body suffered a great damage. He looked terrified at Mu Qianxi. He knew that she was only at the 7th stage spirit warrior, but that blow, even a person who's at the peak of 9th stage spirit warrior won't remain unscathed after receiving it. Fortunately, his strength is higher than her by 4 stages, else he won't be standing here right now. Ouyang Shilong drew his sword out. Once again he tried to swiftly cut Mu Qian in half. Die! Water shield. When Ouyang Shilong reached Mu Qian, his attack was blocked by a clear blue water shield. Mu Qian smirked. Water charge. Another long blue dragon rushed towards Ouyang Shilong and swept him away. Boom! Unexpectedly, while Ouyang Shilong was still in the air, Mu Qian turned her body to give him a fierce kick. Ah! Ouyang Shilong was thrown down on the ground, completely confused of what is happening. He unconsciously said. You are only a spirit warrior, how can you be so strong? He clearly felt a force coming from a martial warrior on her kick. Ouyang Xiang also froze. Shilong. What are you doing? Why is she still alive? Even in the whole snow continent, a person that can cultivate both spiritual training and martial arts didn't exist. In the end, what kind of monster is she? Ouyang Xiang was terrified. He yelled in a commanding tone. Ouyang Shilong. No matter what, you have to kill her tonight. Yes. Thunderstorm soared. Ouyang Shilong shouted. Afterwards, sounds of loud thunders filled the area. What followed was a stream of attacks similar to lightning gushing towards Mu Qian's direction. Mu Qian felt the air around her became suffocating all of a sudden, like death is about to sweep everything in sight. Rustle. In order to get away from Ouyang Shilong's thunderous attack, she increased her pace to the extreme. Mu Qian, let's see how far you can hide. Ouyang Shilong wasted no second. Once again he let out the same attack he made earlier. His face was covered with a grim smile. He looked forward to Mu Qian's antic. I hated death. Ouyang Shilong continued on hunting Mu Qian down. Her strength is far below him. He will gladly make her suffer more. The shadows watching are all anxious. They wanted to go after them and help Mu Qian. Lord! We're coming. Mu Yi stopped them, he said in a serious tone. Our master didn't give an order yet. Return to your stations. Suddenly, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was moving at a great speed and concentrating on where Mu Qian stands. The smile on Ouyang Shilong's face was gone. He cursed. D-A-M-N. She even made a breakthrough. Mu Qian let out a smile. With Ouyang Shilong's pressure, it made her body bring out all of its potential that aided her to break through to the 8th-stage spirit warrior. Instead of cultivating, she concentrated on refining medicines these days, which eventually made her breakthrough slow down a lot. So she decided to confront Ouyang Shilong to a fight, in order to enhance her strength by combat. Finally, she reached the 8th stage. Mu Qian felt her strength have doubled. Mu Qian waved her hand, she shouted. Fall and bloom. Flower rain. Countless drops akin to an arrow falls down on Ouyang Shilong's direction. Ouyang Xiang couldn't believe everything he witnessed. Mu Qian, how did she escape Ouyang Shilong's deadly attacks? Is she still human? Moreover, her flower rain seems to resemble Ouyang Shilong's thunderstorm sword a lot too. Ouyang Xiang thought that Mu Qian learned it while fighting Ouyang Shilong first but completely discarded the idea after some contemplation. Actually, Ouyang Xiang's idea was on the right track. With Ouyang Shilong trying hard to chase her, she comprehended a new move through his moves. The flower rain isn't a skill imbued in the water dragon ring, this was a special skill she made herself. Until she reached the spirit master level, she can only use the water charge and water shield skills. Boom! Several explosion covers the area, with countless flower-like arrows falling down on Ouyang Shilong. Even with his fastest speed, the water arrows still caught him up. Cough! Ouyang Shilong coughed out a lot of blood, even his robes are torn by Mu Qian's attack. He'll die if he don't escape. A while ago, it was he who's chasing Mu Qian, but the tables have turned. It was now Mu Qian who is chasing him down. Flower rain. Water charge. Mu Qian continuously hit Ouyang Shilong with different elemental attacks. Every move she made leaves no gap for Ouyang Shilong to counter. Ouyang Shilong's mind was in a turmoil. He can't understand why, despite of Mu Qian's continuous use of her spiritual qi, there's no sign of her qi diminishing at all. Although she broke out into the 8th-stage spirit warrior, this amount of high-level attacks should already be her limit. But when he turned his head to look at Mu Qian, he saw her holding a 2nd-grade medicinal pellet and swallow it almost immediately. Ouyang Shilong was about to explode. Mu Qian, she really lives up to her fame as a local tyrant. Just now, she ate multiple precious pills like a candy. Ouyang Shilong, who was being chased by an 8th-stage spirit warrior, was so embarrassed. Said, he simply wanted to run away. Mu Qian, have you no shame? Did you really think I'm easy to bully? Thunderstorm sword. Exterminate. Flower rain. Water charge. Boom. 2 strong forces collided and the 2 figures flew out from that explosion. Mu Qian rotated her body enough to safely land while Ouyang Shilong fiercely fell on the ground and coughed out another mouthful of blood. Cough. Cough. Mu Qian nodded. It looks like I'm right, adding another attack would change the effect a lot. Ouyang Xiang's face lose its color, even with a 3-stage gap, Mu Qian still got the upper hand. How is this possible? In the end, what did she do? Mu Qian coldly said. Ouyang Shilong, what happened to you? Don't you want to take revenge from me? Why don't you hurry up and fight me then? Ouyang Shilong wanted to stand up, but he's still vomiting blood. Ouyang Shilong sternly said. 2nd young master. You must order them all to kill Mu Qian. She's a monster. You don't have to tell me. I already planned to do so in the first place. Ouyang Xiang secretly told himself. If he let her continue to live and cultivate, then their Ouyang clan would definitely become the meat on her cutting board in the future. Mu Qian, she must die. Ouyang Xiang was about to give an order but was interrupted by Mu Qian instead. Ouyang Xiang, fuck off. My opponent is Ouyang Shilong, not a brat like you. Mu Yi swiftly blocked Ouyang Xiang from advancing. Mu Yi let out his true strength. Boom! Ouyang Shilong's eyes were wide open, he exclaimed. How is this possible? Even the Mu Jia's shadows reached the peak of 9th-stage martial master. A bunch of sissies. Wrought in HELLU jerks. To kill with a concealed weapon. According to the Ouyang clan's information, the Mu Jia's shadows were carefully cultivated by none other than the former lord, Mu Fengyun. Their age didn't reach 30, yet all of them has the strength of martial master, and the most shocking part was some of them already reached the peak of the 9th-stage martial master. Their strength is so strong and their talent is limitless. Maybe in just a few years, Mu Jia would have several martial kings in their domain. At this time, Mu Qian walked towards Ouyang Shilong. She looked at him with cold eyes. Ouyang Shilong trembled, he pleaded. Lord Mu, please don't kill me. Mu Qian ruthlessly said. Oh ho! Now you're begging for mercy. Too bad, it's too late. Ouyang Xiang shouted. Mu Qian. Don't you dare. A sharp sword was pressed against Ouyang Shilong's neck. Mu Qian smirked. A useless person like this tried to kill this lord. You think my family would keep him alive? There's only one thing waiting for him, and that is death. Mu Qian, stop. At the same time, Ouyang Xiang broke free from Mu Yi's hands and rushed forth towards Ouyang Shilong's side. Mu Qian quickly moved sideways to dodge. In her hand, a fine needle infused with poison flew out. Ouyang Xiang, you can't stop me from killing that man. Since you're asking for it, let's see how far you'll block attacks from several martial masters. Ouyang Xiang tried to dodge the needle. However, Mu Qian's target wasn't him. It was Ouyang Shilong. When he found out, it's already too late. The needle pierced Ouyang Shilong's skin. Ouyang Xiang already some that Ouyang Shilong would die. Ouyang Xiang shouted. I won't let you get away with this. Mu Qian taunted. Ouyang Xiang, you're too early for that. Arc. Cough. Cough. Suddenly, Ouyang Shilong convulsed all over. His whole body turned black and his eyes were wide open. Eventually, he is unable to escape from death. Ouyang Shilong is dead. Even if Ouyang Xiang wanted to protect him, the fact that Ouyang Xiang still let Ouyang Shilong die in front of him is true. If the ghost doctor wanted someone to die, even the GODS would find it difficult to save that person. Ouyang Shilong played a small role. Ouyang Xiang was filled with rage. He shouted. Mu Qianshi, you're despicable. How could you poison him? Tian, I really don't get OX here, the HELL. He also tried to kill MQX earlier, so why can't she do the same? PRICK. Mu Qian waved her hand and calmly said. Ouyang Xiang, this lord doesn't want to hear any of your nonsense. This evening walk of mine ends here. This lord will go back to rest. You think I'll let you go easily? In your dreams. Ouyang Xiang coldly said. Oh really, do you think you can stop me? Mu Qian raised an eyebrow. Paw. Ouyang Xiang clapped his hands. Afterwards, 100 men with the strength of martial master appeared and surrounded them. Not only a member of their family is dead but also 100 of his men. Ouyang Xiang triumphantly laughed. Mu Qianshi, I won't let you escape tonight. When you're busy fighting with Ouyang Shilong earlier, I made a signal to the Ouyang clan to gather reinforcements. Now Ouyang Xiang has 100 martial masters whereas Mu Qian only has more than 20 shadows to protect her. Ouyang Xiang believed that Mu Qian's shadows would leave her instantly when his men started to siege her. In the face of such terrible opponents, Mu Qian can't help but smile instead. You're really stupid. I already let you escape since killing someone as stupid as you hold no merit than Ouyang Shilong. This lord gave you enough time but it seems that is no longer necessary. Ouyang Xiang wasn't dumb, he immediately understood the hidden meaning on Mu Qian's words. So it seems you also plan an ambush. But it doesn't matter. I know that the shadows in your Mu Jia didn't exceed 100. Even if they all come together, you will still die today. That's where you're wrong, I only need half of them. After Mu Qian said those words, another 30 black figures appeared behind her. Ouyang Xiang laughed. Are you serious? You only have 50 people. What can that bunch of losers do to us? Mu Qian said. Mu Yi, do it. Since the Ouyang second young master doesn't seem convinced, you will use actual action to prove it to them. Yes. Suddenly, multiple aura of death fills the air. 10 shadows encircled Mu Qian to protect her. Ouyang's soldiers simply couldn't get near her. Countless voices resound at the original silent street. Ah! One of the Ouyang soldiers screamed and falls on the ground. Afterwards, numerous fine needles descend from above sweeping Ouyang Xiang's men. Added with the powerful arrows coming from the shadows' crossbows on the rear, even a martial king would find it difficult to maneuver. Ouyang Xiang has an exasperated expression. D-A-M-N, what are those weapons? How can it be so strong? In the snow continent, a weapon of this caliber didn't exist. Although, the arrows aren't special, the way they were released is akin to a force of a spirit master. Contrary to its force, the whole weapon's body looks physically weak. But one thing is for sure, this weapon can cause lethal damage even to a person with the strength of martial master. With the help of the crossbows, Ouyang Xiang's 100 men suffered a heavy blow. Mu Shirer, who is one of the Shadow's A.S. signed to protect the Lord, was astonished. He unconsciously said, "When the Lord took these things out, we knew they were extraordinary, but we did not think they would be so powerful like this." "You're talking nonsense again. When did you saw our Lord took something out aside being invaluable?" Mu Qi laughed. For the effect of this weapon, Mu Qianxi is very satisfied. When Mu Qian has gone to take the cauldron from Master Hua half a month ago, she also gave him another weapon design, which is the crossbow. The designs were based on her former life. It was supposed to be a gift for her to cure certain kinds of illness from a weapon master. Her needles resemble a rainstorm from above, together with the Zhuge G.O.D. crossbow and flying G.O.D. claw. These artifacts' designs were also given to her when she was a ghost doctor, even though she felt it was all useless for her since she is a doctor. Nonetheless, she reluctantly received their gifts. Due to her master's advice and for the reason that her strength is low, she tried to remember each of it as clear as possible. With the latest method from the snow continent, she slightly modified the weapon's design. Coupled with the highest grade of blacksmithing of Master Hua, she reached the desired effects of every weapon. The soldiers which the Ouyang clan trained carefully were almost depleted. Ouyang Xiang was so angry he could vomit blood. Mu Qianxi. From the very beginning, you planned to wipe us out using this trap. You guess it right. However, there is no reward. Mu Qian laughed. Kill them all. Make sure no one stays alive. Originally, she only wanted to save the mysterious young man. She didn't expect that Ouyang Ju would seize this moment to ambush her here. Since the other party set an ambush for her, it was common courtesy to send her regards in return. When she was playing with Ouyang Shilong earlier, she ordered some of the shadows to bring the crossbows here. The main reason was to try it all to a moving target. On this experiment, it was only the shadows who find it enjoyable while Ouyang Xiang was miserable. The damage made by her weapon was not only terrible but also deadly, due to the poisons at the tip of the arrows sealing its victim's death. Ouyang Xiang felt his heart have gone cold. He must leave this place immediately if he wanted to live. He swallowed an elixir that can break his strength similar to a martial king and quickly rushed out. Mu Qian coldly said, "Don't let Ouyang Xiang escape." "Hey guys, sorry for the late update. My laptop died T to the power of T, I buried it yesterday so I'm only using my phone to translate this chapter. IDK, when will I buy a new one? So I guess the update will be slower than usual. PS, my sister accidentally drops my laptop when I lend it to her for school purposes. T*TPPS, Ouyang Xiang is full of SHIT until the end. RIP Ouyang Shilong, those 3 chapters where you appeared will be forgotten forever, Amitba. Weird guy. Swish. Countless weapons rushed towards the fleeting Ouyang Xiang. With no way out, Ouyang Xiang grabbed 2 of his guards to block it all. Pfft. The 2 guards who were loyal to the Ouyang clan were used as a meat shield by the young master. Death flashed through their eyes. A man with strength akin to a martial king wanted to escape. The shadows can't stop him even if they have a hidden weapon in their hands. Mu Qian motioned them to stay, she said. Don't chase. If you really put him to pressure, Ouyang Xiang would probably pull some of you together with his funeral. For this lord, your lives are more valuable than that bitch's life. TN, calling OX a bitch lol. The shadows were moved with the lord's words. The Ouyang clan can take their own subordinate's life as a shield to escape without any remorse. But their lord would never sacrifice its own subordinates like that. This time, Mu Shirsand suddenly shouted due to fright. Lord, not good. This boy is not breathing. Tien, Shirsand means 13. So many shadows being named by the author. There's no air. Mu Qian stared blankly. It is reasonable to say that the way the Ouyang soldiers hit him earlier won't result to death. So how exactly did he stop breathing in the end? Mu Qian crouched by his side to check the young man's body. Not only his breath, but also his heart had stopped from beating. So it's really true that he died inexplicably. The shadows was all speechless. Mu Qian examined his body. In her eyes, a trace of consternation flashed. He doesn't have a heart. His internal body structure is also somewhat eccentric. Mu Qian knitted her eyebrows. She is well informed regarding human anatomy, however this is the first time that she encountered someone with this kind of body. The whole appearance certainly resembles a human body, but the internal organs are all missing. Can this even be still called a human? Mu Yi with a deep voice said. Lord, this man is too strange. How about we burn his body? I feel that if we leave his body here it would be dangerous. A man without a heart is able to kill people and act as if it was alive. This is too weird. Such an interesting fellow, don't you think it's such a shame to burn him? Alright, we'll bring him back with us. This lord will study him later. Since the lord of the house already spoke, there's nothing they can do about it. From now on, the shadows decided to be more careful as to not let this weird guy hurt their lord in the slightest. Boom! Mu Qian and the others quietly returned to the Mu Jia. On the other hand, somewhere inside the Ouyang's residence, an explosion occurred. Ouyang Xiang, I sent so many of our soldiers with you to kill Mu Qian Shi. Now you're telling me that these 100 men have been wiped out. Do you know how much money and energy I've put to cultivate those soldiers? Ouyang Ju shouted while advancing towards Ouyang Xiang. Ouyang Xiang lowered his head and said in a low voice. Father, I was wrong. I didn't think that Mu Jia has a hidden weapon. Ouyang Ju waved his hand and said. Enough, I don't want to hear any more of your excuses. Sure enough, Mu Fingyun's daughter is also not easy to deal with. It seems that I need to consider at length on how to deal with her. The next day, Yu Zhe came to find Mu Qian to report some things. Mu Qian listened carefully, however the last line made her mood go downhill. She shouted. What? Ouyang Xiang destroyed my ghost doctor building, yet they're refusing to pay. She stood up and ordered. Yu Zhe, let's go. It's time to collect some debts. Lord. Lord. Not good. Mu Qian Shi. In the Ouyang clan, an old servant dashed like there was fire in the whole place just to report. Suddenly, a loud explosion echoed. When Ouyang Ju heard the word Mu Qian Shi, he unconsciously unleashed all his qi in a split second, crashing down all the pillars in his room. Ouyang Ju raised his fiery eyes. Mu Qian Shi. How dare you come here after all you've done? Lord. Mu Jia's lord is already inside. We can't stop them, another servant came in to report. This is Mu Qian's second time inside the Ouyang's residence. Upon going out, it was a girl with a bright smile that caught Ouyang Ju's attention first. Seeing her smile like that, Ouyang Ju really wanted to cut her into pieces. Last night, Mu Qian killed 100 of his men, however she still had the audacity to talk with him today. Ouyang Ju tried to suppress his anger and asked. Lord Mu, for what purpose did you come here? Mu Qian said. I brought here the list of debts the Ouyang Lord owed me from the events yesterday. Yu Zhe, give the list to Ouyang Lord. This compensation list, of course, Ouyang Ju is aware. Mu Qian acts like a lion who uses its full strength even when hunting a rabbit. Deep inside, Ouyang-ju truly wanted to crush and tore the bill in his hands into pieces. Ouyang-ju tried so hard to let out a forced smile, he said. Lord Mu, although my son smashed all of your medicines in the ghost doctor building, he also received his lesson yesterday, right? So why continue being aggressive on this matter? Mu Qian countered him. Your son was beaten by the citizens and not by me nor any member of our clan. Calling this even would be too far-fetched, don't you think? Mu Qian is insisting that she had no idea on how the fight yesterday started, which made the Ouyang Lord's stomach ache. It's precisely what you've said, but the fact that it was Lord Mu who incited them first is not a lie. Contrary to his expectations, Mu Qian just laughed. She said. So you're saying that I, Mu Jia's lord, instigated the common people to harm your son who is basically flaunting his authority like a madman by ruining one of my properties? If that's the case, where is your evidence? The people who hit his son all fled immediately after. Where in the world would he find himself a witness then? Ouyang-ju almost fainted. No matter what Mu Qian she want today, it isn't anything good. Mu Qian said. Ouyang Lord, remember the day when His Highness, Xianyuanli Tian broke my carriage? Your second son made me lose a lot of money yesterday, which made me very angry as to come here personally. I'm sure you get what I'm saying. If you like, we could also go to the palace and find His Majesty. Your second son's ident. Tai is greater than the seventh prince. I'm sure he'd be willing to act as a mediator for both of us. Ouyang-ju's mouth is twitching so hard at this moment. If he keep on refusing Mu Qian, she would take this matter to royal court. The emperor is already having doubts about him. It would definitely cause another problem if the emperor would came to know about this too. But remembering how high the amount indicated on Mu Qian's compensation list is, he felt his knees give up. 3 million gold taels isn't a small sum. On the top of all, his whole clan already has a financial problem to start with and probably won't make the ends meet either. I know that you lack gold at this time, so how about mortgaging your properties to me instead? It would surely help me expand our industry. Mu Qian stated like she is good at understanding others. If Mu Qian took the remaining sets of the Ouyang clan, then there will be nothing left for them afterwards. Ouyang-ju's face becomes stiff. It's quite obvious that Mu Qian won't leave until she get what she wanted. Uncertainty flooded his mind. If Mu Qian wanted to kill him, it would only take a second for her to take out the hidden weapon in her spatial ring. Endure. The gold he kept isn't enough to pay it all. In the end, he needs to release some of their properties to clear his son's bill. This is not what he hoped for initially. When everything is lost, what would happen to them in the future? How would they continue to live if there are no properties left supporting them? But he couldn't think of another way. He felt that him and his whole clan would drink the northwest wind in the near future. Mu Qian received all of the debts the Ouyang clan owed her. I can finally say that the Ouyang Lord is a straightforward man. We'll be going now, no need to send us back. Ouyang-ju rolled his eyes. No one plans to send you out in this house in the first place, is what Ouyang-ju wanted to shout. If this girl continued staying here, Ouyang-ju would most probably strangled her to death by now. Mu Qian and Yuzhe turned and walked away. Not fully aware where Mu Qian is going, Yuzhe, who's hesitating before, finally asked. Leader, this is not the way out. Where are we heading exactly? Mu Qian strikes again. Vengeance is a must. This is not the end. Bwaha. Burn, bitches. Burn. Watching them burn. There is no way that we're leaving easily like this. Ouyang Xiang wrecked my ghost doctor building. I will definitely return that favor today. Mu Qian took out a few barrels of oil from her ring, she said. Here, help me pour this out. We'll burn their household down. Good. After pouring the oil out, Mu Qian then lit a fire into the ground and hurriedly went with Yuzhe through the Ouyang's gate. Lord Mu, why are you still here? One of the Ouyang's housekeepers were surprised to see the lord who's still inside the Ouyang residence. This whole place is a lot bigger than ours, somehow we got lost on our way out. Mu Qian said in a nonchalant way. With a flick of a sleeve, Mu Qian brushed past the man who looks at her with doubts, and said in an angry tone. After this incident, this lord would never come back here again. The housekeeper's head is smoking from rage. He wanted to scream but kept his feeling to himself instead. Don't come back. We also don't want you here. Humph. Shortly after Mu Qian left, the people inside the Ouyang residence were in turmoil. Fire! Fire! Hurry up and put out the fire. The blazing fire began to engulf the whole Ouyang's place. What scares them the most is neither water nor sand can put out the fire, which made it impossible for them to prevent it from expanding further. Ouyang Ju can only send out some spirit masters to suppress the flame. However, with how big the flame is, all of them felt tired in the end. Half of the place was burned into ashes. Not only they were broke but also with this new crisis, some of them would even have to leave in the streets. When Yuzhe came to know the news about the Ouyang clan, he could not help but say, miserable. Too miserable. Did leader learn it from her old man? Yuzhe gloated on the Ouyang's misery. Mu Qian Shi, I'm not finished with you. Ouyang Ju swore as he saw the devastating condition of his home. Although he had no lead on how did the fire started in the first place, Ouyang Ju doesn't believe that Mu Qian Shi has nothing to do with it. No matter how hard they've tried to search for clues or proof, nothing was found in the end, which made his hatred grew deeper than it already is. Xianyuan Tian on the other hand was smiling the whole day. Even though his royal family suffered a heavy loss and he was locked for 3 days on his palace, he felt that nothing is worse than what had happened to the Ouyang clan. But Xianyuan Tian felt that the Mu Jia is a bone in his throat that he must eliminate at all cost. A cold light flashed through his eyes. He must get rid of Mu Qian Shi and Mu Wushuang, as well as recover the properties his father emperor had lost to ensure his right to the throne. When Mu Qian and Yuzhe returned to the Mu Jia's residence, Mu Qian was quite surprised to see a lot of servants that stood in front of her door. You and you. Hurry up and clean the fallen leaves in front of the door. Wipe the floor. Don't forget to replace the flowers. Miss would be back soon, if this place isn't arranged by then. I will kick you all from this house. Even if Mu Qian went away for months, this is the first time that she saw the servants act hysterically like this. Why could it be? A cold light flashed through Mu Qian's eyes. Yuzhe strode up and asked one of the new servants. I didn't know that the Mu Jia has another miss aside from leader. Who is it? A haughty servant heard Yuzhe's inquiry and proudly said. Where did a poor boy like you come from? Our lady is the eldest young daughter of the Mu Jia. Even though Yuzhe has come here often, this is the first time he saw these people. Naturally, he doesn't have a clue on who are they talking about. Our miss is an absolute beauty. She has shed one's mortal body and exchanges one's bones already. A phoenix among others. Naturally, we should do our best to serve her. TSK. That vulgar younger sister of hers is simply unworthy to be a part of her family. A cold voice came. Since she thinks that it is unworthy of her to be part of my family, then let this lord kick her out personally then. When the servants saw a purple figure approaching, at first they could not recognize her. But the words from her mouth confirmed their guesses. Their faces turned pale in an instant. Lord Mu. They heard that the Lord is not the same as before, so they act arrogantly like they used to. Nevertheless, they steeled their minds and felt that she is still inferior compared to their fairy-like Mississippi. Come. Drag this group of imbeciles and flog each of them 50 times. Throw them out afterwards. Sheer, they said those words because of me. If you want to punish someone, punish me instead. A stubborn yet soft voice came. Her pitiful tone causes other people the will to protect her. A hope flashed through the servant's eyes. Miss, you've come back. We're saved. They believed that with the goodness of their miss, she would never let the Lord harm them. Mu Qian frowned upon getting a glimpse of the approaching carriage. The drapes of the carriage were opened, and a white figure appeared in front of them. The woman's appearance looks lucid and elegant. Her long black hair is adorned by a simple white jade hairpin. She have bright eyes, white teeth and high eyebrows that made her appear as a sweet-tempered lady. Her almond-like eyes are moist as if she had suffered a great grievance. Her long white dress that can't hide her curves captivated some people's eyes just like a fairy would. Miss. Eldest Miss. These group of people finally saw their savior. At the same time all of them had given her a respectful bow. Yuzhe was more confused. He asked. Eldest Miss. Are you a lady of the Mu Jia as well? Mu Rian sized up the young man in front of her from head to toe. His handsome appearance is comparable to the prince's and his strength is not so bad either. Mu Rian felt lucky to see such a fine man. She speaks softly. Yes, my name is Rian. It's an honor to meet you. At the same time, a cold hum was heard. Miss? I am the only daughter of the Mu family. When did my father have another daughter other than me? Mu Rian looked shocked. She felt wronged by Mu Qian's words. Sheer, why are you so cold to me? Did I do something to upset you? I believe you should already know the answer yourself. Mu Qian let out a smile yet not a smile. Everybody listen. Mu Qian, she is the only daughter of the Mu Jia. If I heard another person claiming to be a miss of my family or servants acknowledging other masters aside from me and my little uncle, this lord would kick you out from this house in an instant. Yuzhe said. I never thought that someone can claim themselves as the eldest daughter of the Mu Jia. Upon hearing those words, Mu Rian made a few steps back. Her eyes widened, aggrieved by their words she bit her lower lip and for a long while only one word was uttered. Do you have something to say? Mu Qian said in an indifferent tone. Another wicked lotus appear. She's the sister of Mu Rian, Li Tian's bitch. I hate their names. You're done for. Do you hate me so much? Why are we so divided now? Mu Rian with her watery eyes are looking at Mu Qian as if she had suffered a great grievance. The group of servants that are still kneeling on the floor all glared at Mu Qian. In their minds, the only reason why Mu Qian has the lord's status was because of her esteemed father, no more, no less. They truly believed that Mu Qian is beneath in every aspect compared to their miss, and maybe that's why Mu Qian is so vicious to them today. Mu Qian felt their intense hatred for her. It seems that for these people they already regarded her as the wicked stepmother. Since they already set this image of her, Mu Qian will make sure not to disappoint them. Evil to till the end. She looked at the shadows and shouted. What are you guys waiting for? Drag those people away and flog them 50 more times. Sheer, no. Mu Rian panicked. She outstretched her hand to get a hold of Mu Qian's sleeve to stop her. Get lost. Mu Qian waved her hand. Suddenly Mu Rian twisted her foot and her whole body falls into the ground. Ah! Mu Rian whimpered. A visible slap on her face was seen. Mu Rian lightly bit her lower lip. Her teary eyes made her more pitiful, but she didn't forget to plead. Sheer, please stop. They, coupled with her soft voice and fairy-like appearance, the servants that were being dragged by the shadows loved her more. I'm getting annoyed by the never-ending praise for this white lotus. Yo. On the other hand, Yuze was like a lump of wood with no reaction whatsoever. Although that woman looks like a fairy, he has this uncomfortable feeling about her that he can't explain either. Being with leader is still the best. Don't dawdle. Take them all down. Mu Qian indifferently said. Sheer, it's all my fault, they wouldn't be punished if it wasn't for me. If you're unhappy with me being here, I'll just go, so please let them go. Mu Rian bawled her eyes out, her sight was completely locked onto Mu Qian's body. Mu Rian propped herself up and walked towards Mu Qian, then bowed her head, leaving the servants in a disheartened state. I know this all happened because of me, so I will do anything you say as long as you release them. Mu Qian was amazed by this girl's acting. Mu Qian smiled. Fine. From now on, just like your sister, Mu Riyun, you're banished from the Mu Jia as well. Remember my words, Mu Riyun, don't ever appear before me again. Mu Riyun, who's always putting on airs, was shocked by Mu Qian's condition. In Mu Qian's memory, this white lotus, just like her sister, is a lot more vicious. Mu Riyun widened her eyes in disbelief. Completely lost on what is happening. In the next moment, however, she bowed her head once again and said, Riyun accepts the Lord's terms. Then, go away immediately. Mu Qian waved her hand and said, throw them all out from my place this instant. Mu Qian turned and walked towards her room, too lazy to spare Mu Riyun a glance. The elders are all helpless, no matter what Mu Qian do, they can't do anything to stop her. The reason Mu Riyun was brought back from a school outside the capital was due to her grandfather, the second elder's suggestion. With Mu Riyun's good relationship with Mu Qian before, he thought that with Mu Riyun being here, Mu Qian would stop being conceited for once. Mu Jia is definitely filled with billowing smoke everywhere. They are no good for this place, clean them up for me one by one. Mu Qian ordered. Yes, my lord. A shadow disappeared. For a moment, several people of the elders were cut off from the Mu Jia's properties completely. If it wasn't for the fact that her old man was the one who scouted these elders in the first place, Mu Qian would already have them killed using her own poison, so they wouldn't be this annoying anymore. What? Mu Qian kicked Mu Riyun out from the Mu Jia yesterday, she's crazy. Apparently, that's what happened. Also, news about Mu Riyun becoming a martial king before she reached the age of 30 is spreading. For sure, Lord Mu would regret her decision in the future. You're all outdated. Didn't you heard the news about Lord Mu? She turned into a 6-stage spirit warrior in just 2 months. 2 months. Maybe, in just a few days, she would catch up to Mu Riyun's strength. The citizens are divided into 2 factions, but more people supported Mu Riyun. The reason was simply because their image of Mu Riyun is perfect, unlike Mu Qian she with her black history. Meanwhile, Mu Riyun was being supported by her handmaid towards an inn. Her face was pale and her expression was somehow distracted. Miss, how could Mu Qian she'd kick you out? Not only you have no home to return to but also have to live to this shabby place from today onwards. The handmaiden's voice were loud and clear for the Paas, Sursby to hear. Little Tao, don't cause a scene. I was the one who made Sheer unhappy. She would forgive me and ask us to come back if we give her enough time. With her soft voice, Mu Riyun announced that today's matter is little and her sister, Mu Qian, would forgive her eventually. The crowd sighed. Being bullied to this extent but still hoping for Mu Qian's forgiveness, Mu Riyun's too kind. Yenner. This time, a tall figure emerged from the crowd. He was wearing a luxurious brocade, his tone were warm and elegant. His bearing is imposing, added with his handsome face. Almost all the surrounding girls felt that their faces are flushing from his appearance alone. Tian, I am speechless with this paragraph. Mu Ruyan is the only calm one at this moment, but with her moist eyes, some things are clear. She said softly. Your Highness, the crown price. Why are you here? I heard from my people that you've been kicked out from the Mu Jia by Mu Qianxi. I came here to lend you my help. Xianyuan Shang smiled brightly. No need, Your Highness, I can take care of myself. At the same time, the master of the inn appeared and said. Apologies, but as per young Master Zay's orders, Miss Ruyan can't stay on our inn or any establishments that Lord Mu owns. Please leave. Everyone was in an uproar. Isn't this too much? How can Mu Qianxi let her sister live in the streets? Even though her talent is high, I didn't think that she can do something like this. Mu Ruyan's body trembled slightly and took a step back. Then she shook her head again and again as if she could not accept such a fact. Yener, you can live with me in my palace. With Mu Qian's order you won't have any place to stay here, don't refuse me, okay? No matter how hard Mu Ruyan refused first, the crown prince still tried so hard to convince her to stay with him. Ack! Cough! Cough! Yuzhe, who is sipping his tea on the upper balcony, saw that unbelievable scene and directly threw up out all he had drunk. Brother, this show is too great. Too bad your leader didn't show up. Yuzhe reluctantly said, don't mention her. Leader felt disgusted even hearing that girl's name. Naturally, leader have no mood to see such a show. It's so weird though, how come the second in rank among the top 10 geniuses in the Purple Moon Kingdom so soft and weak like this? That's also what leader have said to me. She always reminds me not to judge people with their appearance. Yuzhe said seriously. Yusu looked at his brother and laughed out loud. Brother, PFT. Ha ha. You're done for. Every sentence you're saying always has leader in it. Ha ha ha. Another idiot prince. And boy, Yuzhe. Ha ha ha, you can't escape MQX now. Clash of two men. On the corner of his lips, Yuzhe let out a smile and said. Yes, I'm done for sure. Yusu stared blankly at his elder brother, he himself admitted it. At this time, a servant came in to report. Young Master Zay, Lord Nailanyu is asking for an audience. Yuzhe froze for a bit. Nailanyu. Lord of Snow Continent's Chamber of Commerce, that Nailanyu. He came to see me, why? With that man's status alone, even those who are higher than Yuzhe's position can't possibly meet him, moreover come in personally like this. This. I don't know. Take him in one of our most elegant rooms, tell him I will see him immediately. Yuzhe said in a hurry. Inside the most elegant room of Tianwei building, a handsome young man in blue and a modest man in white sit inside. Nailanyu's foxy eyes slightly narrow, then he picked up a bottle of medicine in his sleeves and asked. This lord will get to the point, may I know who's the person making the medicines you're selling here at the Ghost Doctor building? Nailanyu hasn't seen Mu Shi for a month and he doesn't know where to find him either. One day a potion with strange effects appear and is selling well at the Ghost Doctor building. Nailanyu guessed that Mu Shi would probably involve in this, together with the effects that can outdo a third-grade medicinal pellet. Is what he thought at that moment. Yuzhe coldly said. No comment. Nailanyu smiled. As long as Brother Zay answers my question, I can give you a 5th-grade medicinal pellet. Yuzhe's eyes flashed a dangerous glint, he firmly said. Even if you give me a 9th grade, I won't say a thing. Nailanyu was slightly stunned, in his life he believed that there's nothing he can't do with gold and silver. but this seems to be the second time someone refused him. The first one is Mu Shi and now Yuzei. It's me being unreasonable. Nalan Yu casts his head low but his eyes are full of mirth, he added. It's just my speculation, but I'm sure the alchemist you're hiding is related to the Mu Jia, isn't it? Yuzei's eyes are getting colder by every second, if the Lord of the Snow's Chamber of Commerce dares to lay his hand on leader. Yuzei definitely won't let him succeed. Nalan Yu felt the hostility in Yuzei's eyes. It seems that he's on the right track. He laughed. Don't be so nervous. If it's true that the ghost doctor that resides here has a relation with the Mu Jia, I will not let anyone make a move on them either, you know. Mu Shi, Mu Jia, he should have known earlier. Yuzei's complexion is getting gloomier. Compared to the distinguished Lord Nalan Yu, he comes off as worse. Seeing Yuzei being silent, Nalan Yu continued teasing him. I assure you that our feeling towards the Mu Jia is the same. Actually, if there's anything you need, you can ask for this lord's help anytime. We are both working with the ghost doctor after all. Yuzei said. My matters are of no concern to you. I don't need Lord Nalan's help, besides we're not familiar with each other. Once, twice. I'm positive that I'm familiar with the ghost doctor. The smile on Nalan Yu's face is getting more radiant. There was also pride in the way he spoke. Yuzei felt that he isn't lying and he is very familiar with his leader. He accompanied Mu Qian most of the time, so how come he didn't know anything about them? Yuzei was shocked. He really wanted to punch that smile on Nalan Yu's face. Yuzei suppressed his emotions. He can't reveal too many things on his expressions either. Nalan Yu is the person that can get what he wants by stirring the emotions of the other party. What would happen if this fox learned something about Mu Qianxi? He must endure his taunts today no matter what. Yuzei said to himself. I must report this meeting with leader later. I have a bad feeling regarding this Nalan Yu. He looks suspicious. I don't have a clue what he wants from us in the end. Nalan Yu also identified a few things. First, Mu Shi has a deep relation with the Mu Jia. Second, Yuzei also has a good relationship with Mu Shi like him. Yuzei seems calm, but he's definitely hiding something. Nalan Yu imagined what kind of master is Mu Qian to keep Yuzei calm on dealing things like this. When Nalan Yu left, he felt sad and shouted in his heart. Brother Mu, if I don't take the initiative first, I feel that you would forget me sooner or later. After saying his goodbye to Nalan Yu, Yuzei quickly went to see Mu Qian to report. Ha! Nalan Yu came to see you. Mu Qian was surprised on what she has heard from Yuzei. Nalan Yu's guess is right. Mu Qian was so engrossed on creating different medicines every day that she completely forgot him. Nalan Yu helped me a lot. If it wasn't for his help, I wouldn't come to know about Master Hua. I should give my thanks to him personally. Mu Qian laughed. Thanks. Leader, don't go. I think that Nalan Yu has impure motives and more treacherous than a fox. You must cut off ties with him. Yuzei made a strong point. Don't worry, it's always me calculating others, not the other way around. Besides, I have to think of a proper gift for him first. Nalan Yu has more money than ours. I really have nothing else to give him, huh? Seeing leader, who always acts indifferent to others, suddenly thinking of a gift for that cunning fox. Yuzei felt that there's an acid eroding his heart. 3 days have said already, but the Mu Jia hasn't sent anyone yet to pick Mu Rian up. She continued her days sitting by the window and silently crying. She murmured. Grandpa, Rian miss you so much. Why aren't you picking me up? Rian wants to go home. Xianyuan Shang opened the door and saw the master-servant pair weeping for their loved ones. He can't help but feel distressed for the two. He can't help but think that this is all unfair for Mu Rian. Aside from her birth, whether appearance, strength or talent, she ranks number 1, and he is the only one in the entire Purple Moon Kingdom that is worthy of such a woman. Mu Ruyan is unlike any other women he met. Those women can't keep their eyes off him, but Mu Ruyan looks at him as if he was a common man and never bowed her head just because he's a prince. She's so perfect is what he always believed. Since then, he regarded her as a special someone and has been watching for her for so many years. Even if her origin isn't enough to make her the official princess consort, he always left the secondary princess consort's position for her. Mu Ruyan heard some noise, and just like a frightened rabbit, she covered her face and exclaimed, "Crown Prince." Xianyuan Li Shang sighed. "Yenner, how many times do I have to tell you that you could just call me Li Shang? You wanted to see your grandfather and go home, right? This prince would take you back tomorrow. If this prince wanted to send you home, even Mu Qian, she can't refuse me." Xianyuan Li Shang's eyes are warm, but his tone is domineering. What could that bitch do to him anyway? Tien, they never learn. She was moved by his words but at the same time acted as frightened a mouse. "Crown Prince. This is just a trivial matter. I do not wish to trouble His Highness any further. Sheer will come to me. I'm sure of it. You're too kind, Yenner. Mu Qian, she would never let you return in the first place." Xianyuan Li Shang, who looks like a love fool, said. "No, you're lying." She bit her lower lip and acted as though she didn't believe a thing he said. "Yenner, take a rest first. Tomorrow I will send you back. I promise you," Xianyuan Li Shang said sternly. The next day, Mu Ruyan together with the Crown Prince and his men went to the Mu Jia's residence. "The Crown Prince is here." A sharp voice was transmitted all over the residence. As soon as the Crown Prince arrived, all of the people inside went outside to greet him. Only Mu Qianxi and Mu Wushuang acted indifferent and too lazy to take care of such unwanted guests. Xianyuan Li Shang frowned. He asked, "Where is Mu Qianxi?" "The A.S. Shoal Prince and White Lotus Virtu." "OMG. Yuzhe being jelly and Nalan you being hopeless. Ha ha ha. Poor little lambs." You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.